It is the Rundown, A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center. This is the A2DRadio.com studios. The whole crew back for the first time since football season.
I know, in a while.
Ryan Matthews broke his back, and Sean went into a deep depression. It just spiraled out of control.
He didn't break his back.
And then Tom Brady's epic performance in the Super Bowl
One
has
of the
brought
greatest
Sean
Super Bowls
back.
ever.
Yeah.
It's brought Sean back from the
rock
depths.
12 jersey today.
You know, it's brought Sean back from the depths of hell, Ralph.
I know.
You know, the Ryan Matthews career's over, and Sean.
No, he's not. Not yet.
No, we
Nah.
jumped the gun with that.
Yeah, he's not. It's not done yet.
So the back injury wasn't as bad as first thought.
He's gonna play somewhere in the NFL for one more season.
Is he? I doubt it.
For one more season.
He
No,
might try to catch on somewhere. He's not going to play.
He's gonna play one more year for in the NFL.
He's going to try to.
No, he's gonna play one more year in the NFL.
Look how confident he is.
I was with him at the Flyers game not too long ago.
What's that have to do with anything? What do you?
We were talking.
What are you with him at his workouts too?
He's gonna play.
He just broke his back. You don't know what his back's
going
to be
neck.
like.
He has a C6, C7. What is it?
That's a broken freaking neck. Have you ever listened to Kurt Angle speak?
You said broken back, bro.
Well, that's a broken freaking neck is worse than a broken back.
No, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna go one more year. Seriously.
You're an old school wrestling fan.
He's gonna go.
It's like the same injury Kurt Angle had, and he won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
I got some bad news for you guys, though.
But
Wrestling stinks.
No,
I know.
No, I'm hearing Darren Sproles is not gonna play next year.
Well, he said he was going to retire after this
He
upcoming
said he's
year.
gonna, but I'm hearing that.
All right, so draft me Christian McCaffrey, and we have a Darren Sproles replacement.
No, but here's the thing. Let's talk real quick.
Is that not a good comparison? He
Just-
looks like a
let's talk
Darren
real-
Sproles,
let's
a
talk
bigger
real quick.
Darren Sproles.
Ryan Matthews is $4 million cap, right?
Yeah.
So the Eagles are probably going to cut him or trade him.
Well, they need to cut some guys.
I'm being real. They're probably
he's not going to be back in Philly. Right.
He's going to either cut him or they're going to trade him, right? Kenyon Barner, he's a free agent right now. Okay, you got Smallwood.
Going to cut Connor Barwin.
You got Smallwood. Okay, that's on the roster. And Sproles already, he's having some personal issues. He's probably not going to be back next year. Okay, so you're going to go with Smallwood, and you're going to draft a running back in the draft.
Christian McCaffrey.
Well, I think you're going to draft. You're going to.
So you're not going to use. You're going to tell me you're not.
No, you don't draft him in the first
No,
round.
I thought you were.
No.
I thought that's what
No,
you were going
no.
to tell.
I think there's a possibility.
Because we have more needs.
No.
More needs and spots that we need than a running back.
I'm drafting Sidney Jones. I'm drafting Tez Tabor. I'm drafting Marshawn Lattimore if he drops to you. I'm drafting.
Wait, you're going at the corner, right?
If Mike Williams falls to me there, I'll take Williams. But
thank you.
Thank you. You go best player. But anybody that thinks Williams is going to fall there at this point, I mean, like you can't plan on Williams falling to you at 14.
And I agree
like
with
what
you.
the plan has to be is one of those corners that's there.
Desmond King?
All right,
I think Desmond King you can get in the second round.
Because I'm agreeing with everything you're saying right now, Zach.
And anybody that believes these mock drafts that Marshawn Lattimore is going to go like second overall, I saw a recent mock draft.
They're saying Cook. They're saying Cook's going to fall right there.
Well, I'm not taking Dalvin Cook in this. I'm not taking Dalvin Cook at 14
I
either.
agree.
No.
And you're probably going to get about good 5 years of him, just like the Cowboys are going to wear out Zeke Elliott.
Well, but my argument with that is if you're the Cowboys, why you take Elliott 4 is because everything else was in place. The franchise guy was there.
Right.
You've got great receivers. You got a Hall of Fame offensive line.
Right.
The only thing missing was a running back. Getting Dalvin Cook now doesn't help the fact that Carson Wentz doesn't have anybody to throw the football to. It doesn't help the fact that Jason Peters is going to retire next year, and you don't really know. There are some question marks still on the rest of that offensive line outside of Lane Johnson.
Yeah,
who,
Mike Williams.
I guess depending on how you look at it, could be a question mark in his own right.
There's been some Mike Williams wide receivers in the past, and they're all been busts. But this Mike Williams, I don't think he's going to be a bust.
Yeah.
I really don't think, dude.
If Mike
his
Williams
talent
drops to us, I'm
is
taking him.
unreal, dude.
If Mike
they're
Williams
even comparing him. I mean, I hate to compare a wide receiver that never played in the NFL yet until Megatron, but they're comparing him to Megatron.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that comparison because I mean,
I hate to do that.
I understand. I like the logic of you got to when you compare guys when a guy's coming into the league in any sport, you find a player at the pro level and you say who's he most reminds you of. That's fine, but Megatron was 6'5" and 230, and Mike Williams is 6'1". Mike Williams is. If any, I like an Anquan Bolden comparison. That's a lot better comparison.
Well, there's also been people in the scouting reports that compared Darrell Green Beckham to Randy Moss. I mean, let's be honest.
I got you. But why did they do that?
Because of the size and speed.
Right, because you said freaky athlete,
yeah.
big and tall and lanky. raw in some ways. Randy Moss wasn't the best route runner when he came into the game. Randy Moss was just a dynamic game changer. He said run down the field.
You just had to throw the ball up.
And you had Randall Cunningham as the quarterback that year, and it was just a perfect combination. So he took over halfway through the year, whatever, for Brad Johnson, and all of a sudden it was a deadly combo. They went to the NFC title game. But that's why that comparison's made. At least you understand why that comparison's made. You got a freaky athlete, similar size and all that, and you just pick a guy and you say, it's the reason I compare Christian McCaffrey to Darren Sproles. He does a lot of things for you. He can run the ball out of the backfield. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can line up in the slot and catch the ball as a receiver. He's going to return kicks.
Mismatches.
Exactly. You're going to find a way to. He's a dynamic player that's going to find a way to get you mismatches and change the game. Be a playmaker. But he's a little bit bigger than Sproles. 6 foot as opposed to 5'6" or whatever. I compared him to. I think he's a Darren Sproles, Brian Westbrook hybrid because I think it's unfair to say McCaffrey can't be.
Where they got him listed at? Like
McCaffrey?
No, actually going in the mock draft.
There's
a second-round pick.
He's probably a second-round prospect, but it wouldn't be a surprise if he snuck up into the first round and a team like New England takes him, or something like that. He's going to obviously be a scheme fit, but he's a perfect scheme fit in a West Coast offense that we run. Kansas City would be a great scheme fit for him, although Tyreek Hill out there maybe prevents them from taking a guy like him now because they already have that guy. But, a great scheme fit. He can control the middle of the field, run all different types of routes, control the middle of the field. He's a legit athlete, quick on his breaks, all that type of stuff. So, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a guy like that, but we can get into that later. We're kind of getting off at what our topic is supposed to be because we're going to have a lot of fun today with the topic at hand. There's a $25 million mega fight going on out there as a possibility between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, right? You guys have heard about this. Now, Floyd Mayweather...
McGregor's going to wax that ass.
You're freaking
high.
What
are you smoking?
You're high.
Yeah, well, seriously. Can I get whatever
you're going to wax that
You're high on drugs. Let's bet.
Puff.
You want to bet?
You're smoking.
$75, McGregor.
$75.
Oh my God, we're betting $75 live on the air.
You just saw it.
We're betting $75. This is ridiculous.
Floyd is going to knock him out.
First of all, they're negotiating a boxing match.
Yeah, don't matter.
Have you seen? Go on YouTube.
Floyd don't know what it's like to lose.
Go on. Forget about that.
Well, he's going to know how to
forget about any of that. Go on YouTube and look up videos. They've got videos of McGregor sparring with just like average bum fighters, like guys that are 10-10 in their professional boxing careers, and he's getting his ass waxed.
Dude.
You talk about getting asses waxed. He's getting his ass beat by these average fighters.
Zach,
I'm Zach. He's Ralph. I know you're used to arguing with me.
I'm sorry. Ralph.
You're arguing with Ralph at this moment.
He had me all messed up right now.
Yeah, you're used to arguing with me, right?
Yeah,
Zach's going to win. Both of you shut up.
You are on drugs.
Hold on. I love McGregor.
I love McGregor.
But he can't win a boxing match against the greatest boxer of all time.
He's going to get knocked out. He might even get knocked out in the first round.
You know what this whole thing is? Hold on. This is like Evel Knievel.
30 seconds in.
Hold on. This is like Evel Knievel jumping the what was it, the Red River Canyon back in the day, and then as he went off the ramp, he bails off his motorcycle and he releases his parachute and he just drops to the ground. It's a publicity stunt.
Yeah,
you want to know why this is a publicity stunt?
Nate Diaz.
Well, listen, but he just beat the most recent guy.
Come on, he ain't gonna win.
He's bad. If you want to talk about MMA standards, at this moment, McGregor's the most badass MMA fighter on the planet.
His share of the UFC.
On the most badass MMA fighter on the planet. But MMA,
he can't move up in weight though, Zach.
Well,
he
that's
loses
fine.
every time he puts weight. He freaking loses.
Well, they're fighting at 145.
No, but if he
fighting at 145.
if he wants to move,
bro, but he can't. One thing, and you had to see the last couple fights. He goes up.
Yeah, but he dominated the last fight.
He goes up to 170, right? But
but that all hold on.
But
you gotta understand.
He's comfortable at 135, but he goes up to 170, bro. He can't.
He's fighting at
he
150.
gets worn out.
And then
he gets worn out by the second round.
No, but
he gets worn out.
That's when you go. That happened with that fight with Diaz because he went from fighting from 145 to trying to fight at 170 just like that.
Correct.
No, you've got to do that gradually. You've got to make that move up gradually. If you try to do that jump immediately, really quickly, without gradually training for it, you're gonna fuck yourself over.
And if you remember that first round,
right, he did. But
he dominated that first round.
But that doesn't tell you anything about the fact that he can't.
You want to know why he
dominated?
dominated? Because Diaz was letting him take them punches and wearing them out. And then what happened later on?
No, I got you. It's kind of irrelevant to this conversation.
I'm just telling you, bro.
But that has to do.
All right, first of all, let's get to the chase. You agree with me that freaking if they fight in a boxing match, that Floyd Mayweather,
in a boxing match,
he's going to knock him out. It's going to be a knockout.
Let me get back to my conspiracy theory because we're trying to be entertaining and entertain the masses, and you're over here talking about whether or not Conor McGregor can actually move up in weight from $135 to $170. The answer is all of these goddamn fighters can do it if they train properly because that's the way the fight game works.
Not when you're doing it in
months. You can't do it in 3 months.
Right.
You got to give yourself time. So that's the honest answer, but it's really irrelevant because nobody gives a fuck. That's really the honest answer. It's like asking what if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around, does it make a sound? Who gives a fuck, Sean? I don't.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Do you? Because I don't care if a bear shits in the woods. I've seen a bear shit in the woods.
Oh, I never did. I don't care to look.
It's a work of art. Let me tell you. You need a camera and you need to snap a picture of it. It's a piece of art. Okay?
So
just telling you.
Conor McGregor's gonna knock him out.
Well, Mayweather's going to knock his ass out in a boxing match.
Conor McGregor's going to knock him out?
Yeah. No, Conor McGregor's going to get his ass beat in a boxing match.
He's going to get his ass whipped.
No,
all right, I just want
this whole thing.
No, bro. Conor McGregor's going to win.
He's nuts.
Put the football down first of all.
Conor McGregor's going to win, bro.
You're over here clapping your hands at me. What is Conor? Is Conor going to magically get the boxing skill needed?
He's going to shock the world, bro.
Okay.
Watch.
Oh my God, this is going to be like Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, the part of that story that nobody ever tells whenever you watch that documentary is the fact that Tyson was out getting railing lines of cocaine the night before in Tokyo. Remember that fight was in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. And if you remember watching that fight, from the third round on, Tyson just looks dog shit tired. I was like, this dude was out railing lines of cocaine while banging prostitutes the night before. He was. It was Tokyo. He's out there. Him and Don King are probably railing lines together as they bang prostitutes because they're thinking Buster Douglas is a 40-1 underdog. He's such a huge underdog. Vegas isn't even taking a line on this fight.
No. He bet it on himself. He put a bet in on himself.
Who did?
Buster Douglas.
Well, maybe Douglas did.
No, Buster Douglas bet a lot of money on himself.
I would too if I'm Douglas.
Yeah,
why not?
I'm just
that shows a winning mentality, right?
He bet a lot of money on himself. Go look it up.
No, that's fine.
They actually have
I think Tyson.
Millions. Dude.
I think Tyson.
Millions of himself.
And now he's broke again.
Probably. Yeah.
Tyson, I think, took that fight easy. Was railing lines of cocaine and begging prostitutes the night before with Don King. Showed up out of shape for the fight. On a coke binger. On a coke binge. Hadn't slept in 24 hours. He's like, oh, whatever. I'll fight the guy. It'll be done in 6 rounds. We'll go party some more, and then I'll sleep it off. And instead, he ended up getting his ass beat because that's what happens, when you go on a coke binge the night before. That's my conspiracy theory. That is the Tyson way, though. I'll give you that. That's my conspiracy theory about Tyson.
Anytime a guy gets a tattoo over his eye, you got some issues.
But I think this McGregor-Mayweather thing's going to be similar. Remember the Rocky movie, the scene with Hulk Hogan, where they have, the charity fight, it's like the publicity stunt. Hulk Hogan fights Rocky in the publicity stunt. Yeah. That's what this is going to be for me. Why? McGregor in his MMA career has made $21 million. He would make $25 million in this fight alone, win or lose.
Right.
If he were to fight Floyd Mayweather, he would get $25 million win or lose. It's a complete publicity stunt. He'll go in there, get his ass kicked.
Yeah, but Floyd's going to make $100 million. You know that, right?
I think that's the only way Floyd agrees to it. But right now the agreement is $25 million apiece. But Floyd probably makes $100 million because even if he's getting
endorsements,
right? Exactly. Dana White's talking about paying $25 million apiece. Floyd will get the other 75 from endorsements and sponsors and the fact that it'll he has part ownership with MGM Grand and all that, and the fight will take place at his arena, right. At his casino, his hotel, with his people,
His avenue.
No, he lives at the MGM Grand. He fights at the MGM Grand. He lives there while he trains. It's actually funny, when I was in Vegas, I had a Lyft driver. Lyft is like the West Coast version of Uber. And I had a Lyft driver that was talking about he was talking about Mayweather's, the hotel that he lives at during the fight season when he's training for fighting, and he's like, pretty much all that hotel is, it's he's got the suite and part ownership of the MGM Grand out there, and he owns a room. It's not like he rents it, he owns a section of it. It's his suite, and pretty much all it is apparently he hosts sex parties in the months leading up to these fights. He'll just be training at the MGM Grand, all day long, as he's building up to a fight, and then at night he's having sex parties at his suite. with all the pretty women and stuff like that.
He just brings like 25 of them.
Yeah,
over,
just sex party, like 20 of them. They're just up in his, and he's got his personal security. I guess that has lookout. And I'm like thinking, like this Lyft driver's probably like driven like people, like he's probably escorted them there. Like, I had to drive 5, hot bitches to his hotel, the one night for a sex party at Floyd Mayweather's place. Like, and think of it, it's Vegas. Like Mayweather owns Vegas.
Wait. This guy told you this?
Yeah, me and Frank Vespi were in the back of his car, and the Lyft driver's telling us the story about how Mayweather has sex parties at these hotels.
That's awesome, though.
And he's like, and I was like, he's probably driven people or escorted people to the hotel,
Probably makes good
to the
tips.
sex parties. I wouldn't be surprised if he's had, a couple of these hot bitches we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay, well, this hotel here, Mayweather's sweet, and it's Vegas, and Mayweather owns Vegas. It's Mayweather can walk around Vegas. Everybody knows who he is. It's kind of like if Charles Barkley walks around Vegas.
Right.
He owns Vegas. Like it's his place.
Believe it or not, and I don't really want to get too off the topic, but I know a guy that just came back from Vegas. Britney Spears. She every weekend she does shows in Vegas. Britney Spears. I think it's Elton John does shows now.
Carrot Top's in Vegas. He's another one like Penn and Teller. Like they have a hotel that's like the Penn and Teller hotel. Like that's where they perform at.
Okay.
Carrot Top's got a hotel that like
Wait, Carrot Top's the guy that used to do the freaking commercials?
Yeah, Carrot Top. I think the red hair. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
And like he's known for like being real like unique. He takes shit out of the box and and props out of the box, and he'll do acts with the props. And he's got like a like one of the casino hotels there. That's the casino hotel. Actually, the one I stayed at in Vegas, he performs there like every Tuesday, Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
And he's got like a room that's like his suite. You won't ever see him walking around the hotel or casino,
Jennifer
obviously.
Lopez.
There you go, yeah. Christina Aguilera, I think, used to have.
They do shows every week. That's what they do. They don't tour no more. They live in Las Vegas. They get everything paid for and shit, and they just do shows.
Why not?
Every weekend in Las Vegas. That's what they do.
That's what these hotel casinos will do, like, because it's the entertainment capital of the country, so they'll pay you, hey, Miss Spears will be here for the next 3 months performing every Tuesday and Thursday night, and meanwhile, she's got her own personal suite, on room whatever, floor whatever of the hotel casino. And, she just performs every, every couple nights of the week or whatever, and gets taken care of by all of her meals are paid for, or, it's comped, all her room and her suite's paid for, her meals are paid for. It's all comped by the hotel casino because it's Vegas. So, she's obviously making them a ton of money by performing there every night. So in return, they give her a place to stay.
But they still pay her money too.
Go catch a Las
Right,
Vegas
well, I mean,
Golden
but it's all
Knights
part of the
game
deal.
and
It's all part of the
it's all-
contract.
right.
It's all they're
all
obviously signing
contract.
contracts for
Right.
this and stuff.
Right.
If you ever been on a cruise, you'll see it's similar, with that. Like, you'll realize, like, if you go on a cruise, there's a comedian or a singer or somebody like that that's an entertainer on the cruise.
Yeah.
They can go to watch that show, whatever night it is that he's performing on the cruise. Well, what happens is they sign a contract, and they're there for, like, 6 months, and they live on the cruise ship as they perform for people for that 6-month period.
Could you live on a cruise ship?
Could I? What kind of stupid question is that?
No, you wouldn't get seasick or anything like that?
No, I could live on a cruise ship all year long.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't. It's not a stupid question. There's some people that
You could let me like be like I'd be like the sports radio guy, like
my friend Russell,
like live feed to all
like
the
my friend Russell. Like
all the
I was
sports.
telling him because we went last year. I went on a booze cruise right with my buddy Steve. And it was a wild time, bro. It was so wild that some girl, we thought that she was gonna die. We had to put her they had to put her on a bench. You know what I mean? It was from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, and everyone's just getting plastered. But
that's kind of what you do on a cruise.
yeah, we
There's
thought
really nothing else
it was
to
the
do.
booze cruise, but we thought this girl was gonna die. Like literally, we thought like she was gonna die. And luckily, we got her off, and everything was cool. She had alcohol poison, but she got really whacked. But like my buddy Russell couldn't go because he gets seasick if he goes on a boat. So that's what I'm asking you. Some people get seasick.
No, I mean
but you would do it 6 months. I'm on the cruise for.
Yeah, I've gone on vacation since I was young, where like we went on deep sea fishing trips and stuff in Florida. Like none of that was a problem.
For 6 months, you're like, yeah, I'm going.
Why not?
I'd
I mean,
do it.
they pay you to be a performer as you live on the cruise ship. You mean, I got to think about this. Let me contemplate it for a moment.
Yeah.
What are we contemplating? What is there to contemplate?
It wouldn't get old for you for just.
It might get old, but I mean,
getting paid for
any
it,
job
shit.
gets old. Like
No, I know, but you're just.
Does your job get old? What would be better, living for 6 months as you get to perform on a cruise ship, or doing what you do for a living? Your job sucks.
Yeah, no, I like it, dude.
Your job sucks.
Okay.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's so terrible.
Okay, it's terrible.
You work with what, plumbing and heating?
It's horrible. It's terrible.
Plumbing and heating, that's terrible.
No, I don't work with plumbing and heating. We do conveyor belts and jet bridges. The plumbing and heating contract is down the city. I'm at the airport, bro.
You're at the airport? What the hell?
You know what?
Elliot Lewis is an airport.
Do you know what the airport is?
What's Elliot Lewis? I thought they were plumbing and heating.
No. Do you know what the airport is? The airport is Wildwood.
No, I'm a fucking idiot.
The airport is Wildwood Boardwalk, right? Yearly around, bro.
The airport is what?
Wildwood's Boardwalk, yearly around.
It's just crazy?
But just better girls. Just better girls.
Yeah, I see.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
So, like,
Wildwood's Boardwalk.
what happened to Elliot Lewis?
I'm at Elliot Lewis.
But that's not the fucking airport.
I have a contract down the Philadelphia International Airport. We're the biggest contractor in the fucking city of Philadelphia. All right, I'm going to let you know.
Elliot Lewis has contracts
They're
with
the
with
biggest
the airport.
contractor in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I'm stationed at the airport. And what we do is we do the maintenance on the conveyor belts.
Yeah.
The jet bridges. You know, you ever been on an airplane, you go down that little ramp?
Yeah.
Well, we maintain it. We do all the maintenance on it. You know the conveyor belt system where you throw the bags on there?
Yes.
We fix them. We maintain them.
So you're the person to blame when it breaks down. I'm blaming you.
No, because there could be a jam fall. There could be something else.
It's your fault.
But we fix them.
It's your fault.
We get it back up.
You fixed it, but you didn't fix it properly.
No, we get it back up and running, brother. We get it back up and running.
Until it breaks again.
Elliot Lewis is the biggest contractor in Philadelphia. I don't know if you know that. They do everything. The hot water heating, we don't do that. That's down Philadelphia. I'm at the airport.
At the airport.
Yo,
shut up, Ralph.
Wildwood's Boardwalk yearly around.
All right,
Remember
so
I said that.
around.
So inspired by the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather possible super fight, we want to know which sports figure you would most like to fight for $25 million. You would get $25 million.
Beat the living shit out of LeBron James.
And you gotta which sports figure you get between Roger Goodell, Bryce Harper, Conor McGregor, LeBron James? Which sports figure would you most like to fight for $25 million? And there's a reason I left Sidney Crosby off the list, because I know that would immediately be Sean's answer, and I don't feel like talking about hockey at the moment.
Okay.
The Flyers do not deserve to be talked about in any way, shape, or form.
They're going to make the playoffs, probably.
They're going to make the playoffs, probably.
No, they're not.
Give me a break.
They're one game out of the eighth spot.
Oh, give me a break.
We're in February right
This
now.
is why I can't. Look, see, this is why I can't do it, Matty.
What do you mean? We're in February. They're
Get
one
your
game
boy.
out.
Get your boy.
How am I being unrealistic? They're one game out of a playoff spot.
Matty, you got to set him straight when we come back. This is the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, 856-889-3434. Visit the website, scanzanosports.com. Also brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs, 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey, 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net. Visit the website, sportsoutletinc.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215 369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
The Rundown, only on A2DRadio.com.
This is the Rundown, A2DRadio.com. Brought to you by a new sponsor here at A2DRadio.com, the Soap Stash, the new soap standard. Give them a call at 844-890-3197. Email driphouse@comcast.net. Visit the website, www.soapstash.com. See Jorge for more information. Jorge, the soap master, I guess.
Jorge.
Soap Stash. We got 4 little business cards. I guess we could only get 4. I don't know what happened. I guess the more wasn't available.
What were they giving them out on the street?
I don't know what happened. I didn't make the. He's not my sponsor.
I understand.
I don't know where we got the cards from.
Soap Stash, yeah.
I mean, he's obviously legit. He's got business cards.
Well, come on, Zach. Let's be honest. You can go make your own business cards.
But listen,
not
you got
that
business cards.
It's not that hard. I got business cards. It's not that hard.
He's got business cards and a website. You don't have business cards.
Okay.
Stop it.
All right, I don't have business
I got
cards.
business
You're
cards,
right.
baby.
You're right.
Elliot Lewis might
Dish
have
them
business
out.
cards.
I'm Elliot Lewis supervisor, Zach.
I stay in
What
that
are you talking
Wawa.
about? You
I
high?
stay in that Wawa and hang my get my business cards out.
What business cards do you have?
I got no business cards.
Probably, but that's irrelevant.
Okay. So
Am I high?
are we talking about
LeBron
getting
James,
nonsense.
I will beat
So-
the living shit out of LeBron James.
Come on, bro.
He wants to fight LeBron James. I was like, LeBron James has a 7-foot wingspan. You're not even going to get him into range enough to be
I
able to
will,
land
bro.
a punch.
Yes, I will.
Listen,
He's just
I
going to stand
told
on the
you,
outside and
for
jab you.
$25 million, I would fight anybody. Anybody in the world for $25 million, bro. You know when you first,
No, but you got to at least
All right,
give
let
it
me
a
tell
good
you
effort. You can't just get your ass kicked in 30 seconds.
Listen to me.
Like,
I'm going to tell you something right
you
now.
got to earn the 25
If I ever go to
million.
jail, I'm picking the biggest dude in jail.
If I ever go
listen
to
me.
jail.
Listen. You think I'm joking you? If I go to jail, I'm first
If
day.
you go to jail-
Listen, first day in jail, I'm picking the biggest dude, and we're fighting. The biggest dude.
Why, so you can get
I'm
some
picking
respect?
what? The first day we're fighting.
Your first day in jail.
First day. I'm picking the biggest dude in there, and we're fighting. I don't care if I get rocked. I'm going to get rocked.
You're going to get raped.
I'm going to get rocked.
Forget about getting rocked.
We're fighting.
Forget
bro.
about getting rocked.
Yo, me and Big Bubs, we're fighting.
Big Bubs, exactly. No, that's exactly what's going to happen.
We're fighting. I'm
The biggest guy in jail is going to be some dude named Bubba
You
at
wanna know
300
something?
pounds.
You wanna know
Who
something?
you go pick a fight with.
Yeah, you wanna know
he's
something?
going to wipe. He's going to wax your ass.
This 5'7.5",
This
5'7.5" dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting my lumps in on him too.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Whatever. 300-pound Bubba.
I'm going to get lumped up.
300-pound Bubba.
Listen, we're duking
No,
it out.
you listen.
I'm telling you,
We
bro.
can be duking it out all you want.
I'm telling
You're going to
you,
be duking it out with a guy named Duke. And 300-pound Duke, he's not only is he going to wax your
Listen.
ass, but when he's done with that, he's going to do other things to your ass.
No, he
okay?
ain't.
He's going
While you're
Trust,
asleep
bet on
on the
that.
ground.
While you're knocked
No,
down
no,
on the ground.
no, listen.
And you're unconscious.
No, he ain't.
He's going to do other things to your ass.
No, he ain't either.
Okay, not only he's going to wax
Listen.
your ass, then he's going to rape your
You want to know
ass.
something? After I'm done with Big Bubs, right? the whole crew.
Don't call them big bubs. That makes it sound like
the
you
whole
like it.
shop. The whole shop there. They're gonna realize they're gonna be like, oh man, I ain't messing with that. I ain't messing with that 7-foot motherfucker.
You're gonna be calling
hell.
You're gonna be calling them big bubs, all right.
I'm telling you, dude.
You're gonna be calling them big bubs, all right. He's gonna have you on the ground making you call me big
Zach,
bubs.
I'm telling you.
I'm Daddy Bubba.
Zach, I'm telling you. Yo, let me tell you something. I get you on the ground.
Speaking of things I would pay $25 million to see.
I'm telling you, pray.
Speaking of things I'd pay $25 million to see.
Start saying some active contritions and some Hail Marys and Our Fathers.
I'll fight you.
Yo, let's go.
You know what I picture that as?
I'll fight you for free.
You know what I picture that as? Think of the movie Life. One of my favorite movies ever. That's the scene where Eddie Murphy's talking to the big guy, who's like, hey, I'm going to have your cornbread. And he's like, no, you ain't going to have my cornbread because I'm from New York City. You have my cornbread, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. And then the big dude just beats his ass real quick, like Eddie Murphy gets his ass kicked. That's what I imagine that scene being. Sean's going to be like, listen here, big bubs.
Listen.
You
want to hear something crazy?
Touch my cornbread.
Yeah, listen here, big bubs. This is my side. This is my side of the cell.
You want to hear something
I got
crazy?
top bunk.
You want to hear something crazy? I never started a fight, but every fight I did, I ended a fight.
So you never lost a fight?
Yo, I was suspended twice in school, bro, for fighting. Twice. 2 times.
I got suspended for
Twice.
punching a girl in the face,
Twice.
which I thought she was a man at the time.
I'm just telling you.
So it wasn't,
really?
that wasn't
that story.
Listen,
that was, that was.
Yo. And by the
Speaking
way,
of
and by
you
the
wanted
way,
to pay $25 million to see that.
Keep in mind, I was a hockey player. I got in fist fights before.
Good for you.
On the ice.
Good for you.
On the ice. I don't give.
What is he bragging about?
No, it's not bragging. It's not bragging. It's just I don't give a damn about nothing. It's just, that's how it is. I don't.
Just because you got in fights on the ice doesn't mean 300-pound
Bubba
Bubba ain't gonna have his way with your ass.
Anybody in the world, Zach, listen. Anybody in the world, I would fight, bro. I would fight anybody in the world.
All right, let's go then.
You know what? Hold
Test
on,
me
though.
out.
Hold on, though. Anybody?
Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
He sounds. That sounds like a true hockey player. Only a dumb, stupid, hockey puck for brains hockey player, which I'd fight anybody in the world. I don't care who it is. I'll fight anybody in the world.
You're going to give me $25 million to fight somebody? Yeah.
That's smoking like a true hockey player. Manny, set your boy straight. First of all, he thinks the Flyers are going to make the playoffs.
They're one game out of a playoff spot. How am I being unrealistic?
And the Sixers are like 5 games out of the playoffs.
They were an 8th spot last year and got waxed by Washington. They're probably it's going to happen again. Washington's going to be the number 1 seed. The Flyers are going to be number 8
this
seed.
Team is
and
lost.
they're going to get waxed again, but they're still going to be a playoff team.
Is what they are.
Sean, this team looks so lost.
Zach,
they are unwatchable.
We're in February and they're 1 game out of a playoff spot. How am I being unrealistic?
I thought you guys weren't talking about hockey. What happened to that?
I brought my resident hockey expert into the conversation in Sin City. Man, I mean, am I like?
Yeah, they're hitting a rough patch right now. But 2
2
months ago they were on a 10-game winning streak and everyone was high horsing on.
Wait, hold on.
So
2 months ago they won 10 games, but since then they've been on a rough patch for 2 months.
Well, they've
been on a rough patch for a month and a half.
That 10 games East is good. Yo, hey Zach, they're in the best conference. In the best division in hockey. Haven't you seen the All-Star game when freaking Ovechkin and Crosby and Simmons, the Metropolitan Division, our division, won the whole tournament? We're in the best division.
Simmons is the best player. Giroux's a joke.
Bro, we're in the best conference there is.
Good
we're in the best division, the best conference, and we're still 1 game out of a playoff spot. How am I being real?
You're 1 game out of a playoff spot because you won 10 games.
First off, that 10-game win streak was a complete facade. We all knew that.
And that's part of the reason why you're 1 game out of a playoff spot, because you win 10 in a row. That's what happens.
But besides the point,
especially early,
you heard it here. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Okay,
when you look
at
it here, the playoffs wise, are the Flyers completely out of it right now? I mean, no. Technically, in the standings, no, they're not. But the way they've been playing, man, it has been bad.
They're lost.
It's really,
all they
bad,
need to do.
Man.
Hey, look.
Hold on. Let's see. What do they need to do, Sean?
Listen. Go back to 2010.
Mr. Hockey.
2010.
We're gonna go back to 2010
They beat the
again.
Rangers on a shootout and wound up going to the Stanley Cup as a 7 seed.
I hear what you're
saying. They go to the Cup as a 7 seed. How am I being unrealistic?
I hear that, but the thing
because
is
of the way they're playing.
Bro, the way they were playing in that 2010 season, they were terrible. They had to get in the playoffs on a shootout, and then they wound up going to the Stanley Cup Finals in Game 6 against the Blackhawks.
You're arguing with the guy that is considered the hockey expert at this station.
Bro, you're talking to an MVP of hockey, a former MVP.
Here's the
thing.
Oh my God! Here's
what do you mean?
2010 was that magic.
And I was the MVP of my baseball team. My senior year. It doesn't mean I got some stats too, cuz. Google me, I got some stats too. I didn't win a state title like Tommy.
Hey Ralph,
but I got some stats too.
Yo, listen.
But anyway,
I'm just telling you, bro. I played at a high level.
He runs the hockey happy hour. He's telling you that you're wrong at the moment.
What I'm saying is,
I played at a high level.
2010.
I actually played the game at a high level. What are you talking
Well, then you
about?
should stop being delusional and realize that they're playing like dog shit.
I was MVP in my Pee Wee football.
Thank you, right? Me too, Ralph.
I wasn't Pee Wee football, but
2010 was a magical year.
Thank you. That type of shit doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen every year, you know. Yeah, if the Flyers get in on like the last day of the playoff,
and '93 was a magical Phillies
season, and they go all the and they manage to get to the first round.
That's a formula for success.
You don't really see them going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
I didn't say Stanley Cup Finals. I said playoffs.
I mean,
I didn't say Stanley Cup
Maddie,
Finals.
are they playing like dog shit at the moment?
They are, and I
admit
it. But all they need to do,
have they been playing like dog shit for a month and a half?
Listen,
I mean this past few weeks have been terrible.
I'll be at the game next Saturday. I'll be at the game next week in Pittsburgh.
Listen,
if they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field next week when I'm there, it can change the whole season around.
If you say so.
Momentum. It could.
He's a true Flyers fan. True Flyers
I'm just telling you, feed off of momentum.
But this is why I can't be a Flyers fan, Maddie. These are the conversations we have.
Feed off of momentum,
because Flyers fans like this drive me crazy.
Hell.
Well, there's nothing wrong with...
Because there's nothing, like, as a fan, there's no way I could watch anything that they're doing right now and make an argument for them being a playoff team.
Bro, that 2010 season, they had Jeff Carr.
This isn't 2010.
Listen to me. I'm going to tell you. Freaking Jeff Carr was banging Scott Hartnell's wife.
He was probably banging Scott Hartnell, too.
I'm going to tell you what
happened.
happened.
And Jeff Carter.
I know what happened.
And Mike Richards.
Listen.
I forget. Was Scott Hartnell's wife pretty?
Yo.
I forget.
Yeah.
She was.
She was getting rocked by Carter.
Yeah.
Getting rocked by Carter, right?
And then meanwhile, Richards was giving Carter a blowjob.
Right, listen. They were out partying
as they railed lines of cocaine off the dining room table.
They were out partying every night. Danny
They
Briere
railed lines of coke off the bar.
Hashtag railroad.
Danny Briere's kids, right? Hockey coach.
Was
banging his wife. So Danny Briere was dealing with that. They had so many locker room freaking problems back in 2010, and they still managed to go to a Stanley Cup Finals after winning a shootout against the Rangers on Game 82. Game 82.
We'll leave it at this.
So what are you guys talking about?
We'll leave it. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
What do you mean?
We'll
I
leave
haven't
it at
really
this.
had a chance to
Hold on. We'll leave it at this. Maddie,
man.
would you agree that 2010 is completely irrelevant in this conversation?
Well, it was a different team. So I mean,
it is a different team.
But
last year they played like dog shit, and they were A seed and got waxed. What, Game 6?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. The Flyers did.
And you had the same conversation last year.
And it's probably going to happen again.
Guys, we're trying to compare it to the 2010 team.
I know.
It's not a good idea.
We
had a very different team at that time. We had Jeff Carter, Mike Richards, Danny Briere, Simon Gagne was still on the team.
Right.
You know, we had Scott Hartnell, Chris Pronger.
Right.
We had a pretty good team at that time. It's a different team now. To compare it to 2010 is crazy.
The reason
why
hey, Matt, do you know why I'm comparing it? Because it was Game 82 on a goddamn shootout.
I got it.
And we wound up going to the Cup with all them issues.
And the last time
My point of the moral of the story is if you win a crucial game, like next week, in Pittsburgh, okay, at Heinz Field, you could get momentum. I'm just telling you. That's all I'm making.
I'm not saying you can't get momentum off of the win. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying
it's a big game.
But,
they stink.
But I'm just saying you got to call it out for what it is.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
but Matt, next week's a big game.
I'm not saying it's not.
Bro, they got New Jersey.
That's not what I'm saying. You know,
that's a big game next week.
I'm not saying it's not an important game. Every game now is important.
Right.
Hey, Ralph, do me a favor and punch me in the face. Do me a favor.
For $10 million?
Yeah, you put $25 million. Do me a favor. Punch me right in the face.
You're going to get hit for $25 million?
Good Lord.
But, I mean, the point is, though, is that if they do miss the playoffs, let's just say right now that the situation is what it is. You know, the Flyers, they absolutely shat the bed in the season, and that's why they missed.
And they're also a young team.
And they have
a young team.
Well, I'll give you that.
Overall, rookie.
They're young, and I like their future, but to sit here... Like, this is like the Eagles
me
fans
saying
that
an 8th seed is out of the question? Are you on drugs?
I think with the way they're playing
They're
right
an-
now,
they're
for
an
you to
8th
think
se-
that their playoff team is out of the
an
question.
8th seed, Zach.
Which is a playoff team.
Right. How am I saying that's out of the question? They're a point.
Because by the way they're playing right now,
Zach,
I don't like
Zach,
that argument.
But Zach, if you win a big game, you can go on a winning streak. They went on a 10-game winning streak. How am I out of the equation for this? We're in February.
And after the
I don't-
10-game
I
winning
don't-
streak,
We're
they
in
fucking
February.
You
We're
wanna
not
know why, Sean?
We're not in
I
April,
wanna know
May.
why?
We're not in
I
April,
don't think
May.
they're going to go on another 10-game.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were going
I
on a
don't think
10-game
they're
winning
gonna
streak.
do that.
I'm saying that for them. Yo,
I'm just
I'll
gonna
tell you
let
what.
Maddie argue
We'll
for
make
me.
You guys will make a bet. I'll bet you they make playoffs.
I would
Wanna
love
make a
to.
bet? You guys
Maddie, you
want to
make a bet? We're making bet. We've been
Listen,
making
we'll
bets
make-
all day.
I'm a bet man.
on him as
We'll make a bet. I'm telling you, they're going to get in the
I
playoffs.
got hold on. I
They're
got to
gonna get in
call
the
Sean
playoffs.
Redden. He's my bookie.
They're going to get in the playoffs. That's all I'm telling you.
No,
AC.
you want to know why you're crazy though, Sean?
How
You want to
am
know
I
why you don't
crazy?
get the benefit of the doubt?
Why?
You want to know why you don't get the benefit of the doubt? It's just like the Eagles fan that every single year, like we all know these Eagles fans, every year they're like, "Yeah, this is the year." No, I know we haven't won a Super
I didn't
Bowl
say
ever.
that.
No, hold on, no, just feel me out here.
Yeah,
I'm making
okay.
an analogy to be funny, okay? And this is why you don't get the benefit of the doubt in this argument because, like, you're just like any fan. Whoever, oh, we're winning the Super Bowl this year. This is going to be the year. We're gonna win it every single year. That's you with the Flyers. You're like,
I said they're going to be in the playoffs.
yeah, but then you get
What
all.
are you talking about?
But then they won. But then they win.
An 8th
hold on,
seed is
hold on.
not going crazy.
Hold on, but then they won 10.
8th seed.
But then they
I'm not
won.
proud.
But then they won 10 games 2 months ago, and you're talking about
Hey,
another
Zach,
Stanley Cup
no,
run.
I'm not talking about
like
Stanley Cup.
2 months
Zach,
ago, you
Zach,
were.
They're 5 years away.
You get
And
way
the Sixers-
overexcited.
And the Sixers are 3 to 5 years away
They're
from being
they're
in the
both-
promised
they're
land.
both 2020.
That's what I'm saying to you, bro. It's not bragging about being an 8th seed.
Yeah, but
I
every
don't
year,
want-
but every year you make this
How
argument.
am I that they're going to get waxed in the first round
No,
by
every,
Ovechkin?
no, you make the argument that they're going to overachieve and find a way to
Zach,
make a run to
it's
the
not
make a run to the
overachieving
playoffs.
making an 8th seed.
I think that with
That's
the way
not
they're playing right now, I think
Zach,
that would be
no,
overachieving.
it's not an overachieving for 8th seed.
Okay, we agree to disagree.
How? They're one game out of a playoff spot.
Sean, they want that. Yes, the
There's
one game
16
out,
there's
but they're
what?
playing like dog shit.
Zach, there's 15 teams in the East, and for them,
And none of- and none of those teams are playing worse
and
than the
they're
Flyers.
they're the 9th seed right now. They're one game out
Maddie,
of
hold
the
on.
8th seed.
Maddie,
How am I
'cause we're
being
gonna move on.
unrealistic?
Okay.
That's
We're gonna
crazy.
move on.
Okay.
Nobody said you were crazy. I just disagree.
Okay.
They're playing like dog shit. You can't look at a team that plays like dog shit and says that, I think they're a playoff team. They're playing like dog shit. The only reason they're a game out of the playoffs, Maddie, when you win 10 games in a row, that's going to put you in the playoff picture, especially when you do it
Zach,
early in the year.
Zach, we're
so
in
they won 10 games in a
February.
row
We're
early in the year, so now they're a game out.
We're in February.
Meanwhile, they play like dog shit. And everybody else in the Eastern
all right,
Conference that's around them
all
is
right, come
played bad
March,
too.
Come March, they start winning games.
Hold on, correct me if I'm
Come
wrong,
March, they
Maddie.
start winning
Has
games.
everybody else in the Eastern Conference around them that's right around them in the standings? Nobody's been playing good enough to gain a lot of ground on them. Everybody right around them in the
No,
standings
they've
has
been
played
catching
bad
up
well,
in the
right?
standings. They've
well,
been catching up in the standings. They got some
the
ground.
The Islanders have come out of
They
nowhere.
got
from
some
being
ground.
almost dead last. But
Yeah.
I mean,
The Maple Leafs.
The Maple Leafs were
it's
good
a
from the
very-
beginning of the year. They've
it's
been
been
a young,
it-
talented
I don't
team.
know.
It's been a tight series.
about
It's been a
that
tight race the entire year.
They've got two
in the
superstar
wild
studs.
card.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that one.
It's been a tight race all year in the wild card standings. There's never been a safe, protected spot in the wild card. The East has been way too close this year to call.
Bottom line is, the Flyers stink. I'd rather watch the Sixers. At this point, I might even rather watch Ralph's Lakers.
Yeah. Lakers are
Yeah,
better
that's
than the
crazy.
Sixers
That's
anyway.
crazy.
I mean, that's a matter of perspective, but you know.
As I just drive the knife deeper into Sean's heart.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Sean, the reason I didn't put a certain individual on this
It's
list.
because this was going to happen.
No, I mean, I like it. This has been funny. I mean,
out
like,
of all the times for Ralph to get angry.
I let Maddie argue my argument for me. I mean, because I feel like everything that I would have said in my argument against Sean at this moment, Maddie has said. So, I mean, like,
Well,
I
hold
just
on.
let Maddie argue for me at that point.
What I'm saying is that is it impossible for the Flyers to make the playoffs? No, they can actually still make the playoffs.
If you
but
look at it right now,
they can
with the
still
way they
do it.
play,
Maddie,
They can
if they
still
were
do it.
5 games out of a playoff spot, they can still make the playoffs.
I don't know
but
what-
my
I don't-
point-
They're
but
one
my
game
point-
out.
I don't. Yeah, but I'm not saying.
Look at
that
the way
they
they're
can't.
playing. That's
You know,
what matters.
my
I
point.
get it, but next week I'll be in Pittsburgh, and if they win that game in Pittsburgh,
First of all, they're not going to win because every time you go to games, teams lose. Every game, every Eagles game you went to for like this past
What do
year,
you mean?
they would lose. Like there was 5 games in a row you went to, they lost. Remember Ralph?
I went, yo.
Remember Ralph? He
I
was a
don't-
bad luck.
Yo, I don't
right?
know. I don't know if you know this or
He
not.
was bad bad luck.
But I went to every playoff game in that 2010 season, right?
Stop talking about 2010.
And what happened?
You're in love with 2010.
I am. I went to every single playoff game.
That was 6 years ago.
The Stanley Cup games.
Oh my dear Lord! Why are we still talking?
It was great.
About
It was epic.
2010?
It was epic, dude.
Oh my dear Lord!
It was epic.
And in 2010, Rex Ryan was the best coach in football. Okay,
Come on, get
that
off.
was 2010.
Get off it. Don't even say Rex.
Like, Clinton, seriously.
Yo, you still love Rex.
Oh, he could coach my defense any
You
day.
love Rex, dude.
He could coach my defense any day.
I think that's his next job, though.
Dude.
All right, so
His next job is coaching. Is being the head coach in college football. It's his next job.
Just like Chip Kelly.
I would hire him before I hired Chip Kelly in college
Chip
football.
Kelly's
Come
going to
on,
Alabama.
I don't wanna-
Chip
wanna-
Kelly's going to Alabama.
He can go to Alabama. Let him go.
Chip Kelly's a one-trick pony. He's going to build his system and his program the same way that he did at Oregon, and it's not going to work in a place like the SEC. The reason that worked in the Pac-12 at Oregon is because nobody plays any damn defense.
Yeah, I hear your boy might come back shady. They're saying that he might get cut from the Bills.
I'd be more okay with Shady signing here than Deshaun. I'd take Shady back in a
I'm
heartbeat.
just saying there are reports right now
Yeah, he might
that
get beat up.
NFL.com
Shady was one of the top running backs in football last year.
But they're saying that they might cut LaShawn McCoy. What is he? 20,
They
is he
already-
29? How old is he?
Whatever. I mean, if they cut him, you could bring him in on a couple-year deal. You don't have any better option at running back.
No, but is he 29?
I don't know, 28 or so.
28? Yeah,
29.
I think he has 9 years in the league.
Yeah. Nah.
No, not he hadn't been in the league that long, but it's
2008, right?
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
2008.
Yeah.
2009 maybe.
Has it been 9 years? Next year would be 9.
Yeah, it's maybe been 8 years, but
8.
it's close enough. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
he's a veteran in this
Okay.
league at this point.
So it'll be his 9th year. Going in. It's going in his 9th
but
year.
I don't think he comes in under the idea of if he's here, then you're obviously drafting somebody else that's also going to share carries with him, or what's his name, Smallwood's going to share carries with him. He's not here carrying the ball 300 times. He's not here the every down back. Yeah, I think he's here. I think he's here rotating carries with somebody. Just because I think that's smart. He's 29. 29-year-old running backs don't carry the ball 350 times, 300 times. Like, they're not the workhorse back. It's smart for you keep him fresh and healthy for the whole season if you platoon him with somebody. So, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I mean, it's obviously going to be a money thing too, and whatever.
Yeah, but that's actually why they're thinking that they're going to want to cut him.
They're going to.
Why are we going to
go?
go?
No, but I'm talking about money thing on the Eagles' part.
Yeah, of course. But they still got to
We're
unload
only going to have
cap.
a certain amount of money.
Yeah, but they're
going to have a certain
still
amount
gonna
of
unload cap.
Well,
get
I
Alshon
wouldn't be
Jeffrey.
surprised if the Bills cut him. They're going to cut Tyrod Taylor too, because if they don't, they're going to owe him $28.5 million.
Did you hear what the
or
Browns
whatever.
said? Browns are not going to
Draft a QB. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
They're not going to franchise tag your boy.
Who?
Pryor.
Prior.
No, they're going to sign him long term.
They're going to give him a long-term contract?
They'll probably sign him to a 5-year deal. He just had 1,000 yards this season. It was pretty much his rookie year, and he just had a 1,000-yard season. With you throwing him the football, Sean, seriously, he had nobody playing quarterback. They had Kevin Hogan throwing him the football. Kevin Hogan.
How much are they going to give him?
I mean, it's not. He's gonna get 5 years and he'll get okay. I mean, he's not gonna get paid like he's the top receiver in football.
I thought you were
but he's gonna
tell
get a
me that.
long-term deal.
Yeah. He'll get his.
He had a 1,000-yard season, 77 catches, 1,000-yard season, and the fact that there hasn't been a recent there hasn't been an example of any guy within I think the last 25, 30, 35, 40 years. Like, you go back old school when guys played multiple positions.
So you're saying that the Cleveland Browns are not going to take Deshaun Watson at number 1 pick?
Not number 1. I think they could trade back and
Now,
take him at 10 or 12 or something
are they
like
going
that.
to go with the Patriots and they say, hey, look, we'll give you the Eagles pick.
They might trade for
Listen,
Garoppolo.
we'll give you the Eagles pick that they got. You know what I mean? The Cleveland Browns Eagles pick.
Right.
And we're going to swap. Patriots wind up moving down. We're moving up on it and, doing Garoppolo for. So you're going to have Garoppolo.
I don't like the idea of trading for Garoppolo.
I don't either.
I heard Eric Mangini, he said it like this.
I don't either.
He said, Bill Belichick doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes when he trades players. So if he's willing to trade you Jimmy Garoppolo, red flags. Buyer beware.
Yo, for now on,
because
listen.
Bill Belichick doesn't make he doesn't make personnel
He's not
mistakes of that
stupid.
kind.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
Howie Roseman's Bill Belichick's on the call. Hey, what's up, Bill? How you doing? Hey, yeah, I'm looking at this player on your roster right there. Anytime he calls from now on, hey, Bill, we'll call you back. Just like what happened with what's his name, Eric Rowe.
Right.
Anytime Bill Belichick's calling you up, hey, Bill, we'll call you back. Meaning you better evaluate that player.
Yeah.
Because you're going to let me know. What did you give him? 5th-round draft pick for Eric Rowe?
Yes. Yep.
The dude played 70% of the playoff snaps.
Yeah, I mean
Jesus Christ.
He had a tough responsibility in the Super Bowl, and nobody can cover Julio Jones, so that shouldn't be held against him.
How about that one window catch he had, bro?
Yeah, I mean
you can't blame Eric Rowe on that.
Well, no, the one on the sideline, Ryan was just trying to throw the football away.
That was unbelievable. But that
doesn't change the fact that the whole game, he was just trying to throw the football away, and Jones made an unbelievable catch. But that doesn't change the fact that the whole game, Julio was burning him up and down the field.
He was on an island against the best wide receiver.
But nobody covers Julio Jones one-on-one, so whatever. It's it's fine. It's.
But still, if you gave a fifth-round draft pick for Eric Rowe and he played 70%
I think Cleveland's going to trade that top pick. Whoever gets it, is going to draft offensive lineman, defensive end, Myles Garrett, somebody like that. And the Browns could trade back to 10, 11, 12, something like that, and then they maybe take Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback from North Carolina, or maybe they take Deshaun Watson. Or because it's you're taking him at 12 is a lot better than
I thought
him
he was a lock for Cleveland.
At 1, I don't know. I don't think there's a lock.
No, I'm saying when he
when he
won the title game, I thought he.
Well, I think he's a big time player, and I told Ralph this. I said he's the real deal. I still think he's going to be the real deal, and he's going to be a superstar quarterback at the NFL level. But as far as the number 1 overall pick, there's just too many question marks with the mechanics and with other things involved. For you to take him at number 1, there's just not a clear cut number 1 guy. But you can't teach somebody how to be a winner, and the kid's just a winner.
Yeah.
It's back-to-back years against the best dynasty in college football. Recent generation, recent memory, maybe ever, but back-to-back years against the best dynasty in all of college football. This generation, and he's had 2 of the greatest performances we've ever seen in national championship game history.
Getting back to it, my friend of mine told me, he asked me who I liked, Clemson or Alabama. And I told him, I said, I like Alabama. He goes, no, I mean by the point spread. I said, what's the points? He goes, 7. I said, Alabama's giving them 7 points? I said, I still like Alabama. He goes, bro, I'm going to tell you, I'm betting tonight. He goes, I like Clemson straight up to even win the game, and I'm getting 7 points. He called it. He said they were going to win the game.
Yeah. Everybody's too afraid to bet against Nick Saban in Alabama. Here was the reason. There was plenty of reasons to bet against them. In fact, there was a lot more reasons to bet for Clemson than there was to beat Alabama. 1, they just lost their offensive coordinator. Lane Kiffin just took a head coaching job. You're telling me you're going to have a new guy step in to call the plays, hadn't called plays all year, and we're not going to miss a beat. Bullshit. In the biggest game of the year against the best team you faced all year, Sarkisian's just going to step in after not having called plays all year with this offense, and it's just going to be flawless. Bullshit. They also had a freshman quarterback, a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
This isn't Jameis Winston winning the national championship as a redshirt freshman. There's only been one true freshman quarterback ever in the history of true freshman quarterbacks to win the national championship. It happened back in like the 1970s or 80s. Back when college football, remember, you didn't need to have a legit quarterback to win the national championship. College football is a different game. A lot of you run heavy, things like that.
Yeah.
Now, you need to have a quarterback.
You have to have.
As Alabama, Jalen Hurts was impressive as a true freshman quarterback. No way in hell I was going to trust Jalen Hurts to win the national championship. Like, I'm not taking Alabama. I'm not betting. Now, if I'm just sitting at home not putting money on it, maybe I'll say, I think Alabama's going to win. But if I'm betting money, there's no way in hell I can put down money on the team that just lost their offensive coordinator and as a true freshman quarterback. That combination doesn't win a national championship. Mm-hmm. So I would have taken Clemson too if I had the bet. But I was too scared to put money on that game.
Yeah. if you had a gun, I'm telling you, if I had a gun to my head, I would definitely choose Alabama.
Now, if I had a gun to my head, I'm taking Clemson. Why? Because Clemson's already seen Alabama a year ago. Nobody knows Nick Saban better than Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney got his start as an Alabama assistant coach under Nick Saban.
I know, but it's just the fact that, like you just said, they're the best dynasty. It's like the Patriots. If you had a gun to your head, would you pick? You would have picked the Atlanta Falcons. You're gonna pick the New England Patriots.
but that's a different.
Because they've been there before.
No, but it's a different situation. Yeah, but so is Clemson.
I get it. I feel you.
Different situation.
But this is what I'm saying. You got to go and pick winners. You know what I mean? Like, we'll go back to the Floyd Mayweather thing. Floyd never lost a fight before. You're going to go. You got to go.
I hate
with
that
Floyd.
comparison.
How is that a bad comparison?
Go back to the Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl because that's a better comparison. If you had a gun to my head in that Super Bowl and you said, "Who do you got, Patriots, Seahawks?" At that point, it was going to be really hard to bet against the Seahawks.
Because of that defense.
Well, because they were the defending Super Bowl champion, defending champs.
Understood.
Great
Yeah,
defense.
I get
so
that.
like I compare it more to something like that. Like that's the gun to your head conversation. Like that's more what I compare it to. Like because last year you had the same game. You had Alabama and Clemson.
But
so Clemson had been there too. They came within 7 points or whatever of beating Alabama a year ago. So I'm saying it's the same matchup. If anything, advantage Clemson.
But even
they know what
even
the game plan to beat Alabama.
Even this. Even when you got the New England Patriots, like I'll give you a prime example. Someone came to me and says, "I'll bet you." They first said, "I'll bet you $40 straight up that the Atlanta Falcons beat the Patriots." I said, "I'll take that bet straight up." What? Meaning because the point spread, the Patriots were given 3 points. Yeah. I said, "I'll take that." Right? He said, and then he goes, you know what? I want to make it 100. What? 100? Okay, I'll take that bet. You know what I mean? So I bet him 100. I bet him $100 straight up. Forget about it. I mean, no point spread. We're doing straight up. So he was confident on the Atlanta Falcons winning that game, straight up, right? So it's like you're coming to me on a bet. You don't know who I like. You're telling me I'll bet you straight up on a bet because you like the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, let's do it right now. So what I'm trying to tell you is the New England Patriots. What did I say before the show, Zach? They at halftime. They go over film studies, and they got an extra, 10 minutes because of the show? Extra 10 minutes?
Yeah,
so it's like a half an hour
with
Lady Gaga?
I mean, Belichick's going to, be the better second-half coach anyway. He's going to out-coach in the second half. But, two, I think that an argument that maybe is an argument that hasn't been used enough is you mentioned the extended halftime.
Right.
A team like the Patriots, who's been there how many times, they know what to expect with,
Right, that's why I'm picking the Patriots all day.
It's going to throw off our rhythm. It's going to be a little extra extended, 20, 25 minutes as opposed to the normal 15. We're going to be in the locker room a little bit longer. We're going to have a little bit more downtime than we usually would. We're going to have to try to stay focused on the game. And you find little things that, once you've been there before and you've done it, you find things, okay, this is what I do during that little extra time to stay focused and keep my head in the game. Whereas if you're the Falcons, you might be sitting there going stir crazy for that extra 10 minutes. Yeah. Because you're just not used to the halftime being that long. And since you haven't been to the Super Bowl before and you don't know what to expect and you're not expecting, and you're just not, you're not going to think, wow, how extra stir crazy that extra 10 minutes might make you because of all the extra time you're just going to be standing around and thinking and not, and just doing nothing and whatever. And, it maybe affects them a little bit more than it affects a team that's been there before because it just sneaks up on you. You're not really thinking about it as a team, and then that extra 10 minutes that you got at halftime, you're just sitting around all antsy, like, man, I can't wait to get back to playing football. And you all stir crazy, and you go out there, and you're just not quite on the same level of focus as a team like the Patriots
out
is.
The door and
right.
You got to find that rhythm again.
Now, they came out actually and scored a touchdown on their first offensive drive, so obviously it didn't throw off on a rhythm there. But still, that is something where, the mindset can change. A mindset goes from having that killer instinct.
And Brady wanted that Super Bowl more than anything because the whole Roger Goodell, the whole Deflategate, all that nonsense. I mean, you could just tell. I mean, dude, did you see him before the game? How fired up he was.
Well, that's just but he's a competitor.
I know.
That's why he headbutts people and shit after touchdowns. Calls everybody in that locker room babe. This is the Rundown, A2DRadio.com. We're going to have a little bit fun with this poll question. When we come back, we'll get away from which one of the sports figures you'd rather fight for $25 million, Roger Goodell, Bryce Harper, Conor McGregor, or LeBron James, and have a fantasy matchup, kind of similar to the old MTV Celebrity Death Match. Who would you like to see fight for $25 million?
Celebrity Death
Who would you
Match.
pay $25 million to see fight one another? This is the Rundown, A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 301 Oxford Valley Road, Yardley, Pennsylvania. Give them a call at 215-369-3300.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
Do you need to get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to The Rundown, only on A2DRadio.com.
This is The Rundown on A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you BMW of Atlantic City. Minutes off of exit 37 of the Garden State Parkway. Easy to get to. Ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. Stop smiling at me, Sean. You're so weird.
Because I wanted to talk about Darrell Reeves. Darrell Reeves.
With his 4 felonies.
Yeah, that's why I'm smiling, because I'm like, what a dope this guy is, you know? I mean, his career is basically over, but...
I'll sign him.
Yeah. What we got? Hell yeah.
Because this is going to make him even cheaper than he was before. I'll definitely sign him.
Jesus Christ. I would take it, Darrell Reeves. I mean, he's not completely not the same player, but still, them what we have going on on Nolan Carroll and McKelvin, we just cut.
Yeah, good. He was a waste of $4 million anyway.
Hey, your defensive coordinator wanted to bring him in, Schwartzy. Yeah. Lotus McKelvin.
Whatever. Whatever.
How about that route? I still see the Alshon Jeffrey route when he stutter steps and then freaking smoked them deep. Shit.
He stinks.
I'll sign Brandon Marshall for $7 million, $8 million.
But you want to go to Jets players now?
Bring him in for. Well, I wouldn't consider Marshall a.
I think you're a closet. I thought about it. I think you're a closet Jets.
Who
fan.
else from the Jets have I been a fan of?
Rex Ryan,
Mark Sanchez.
I hate Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is like my worst enemy.
I think what do you think? I
Ralph,
think we have
Ralph,
a conspiracy right now.
Ralph knows my stance on Mark Sanchez. Ralph knows Mark Sanchez is my worst nightmare. Mark Sanchez is like that recurring dream that recurring bad dream that everybody has as a kid.
The butt fumble. example?
You know,
Is that what
like
you're
no,
trying
like
to-
you know that recurring nightmare, like as a kid when you're like 7, every time you go to sleep at night, like the worst nightmares, like it's always like a recurring nightmare.
yeah,
and it's you know,
okay.
it's always something where like you're at somebody's house and you're walking down a dark hallway, you know.
Yo, no, stop talking about. I don't want to have
And then boom,
nightmares.
you know, and then your creepy uncle pops out the end of the hallway. Like, oh no, it's creepy Uncle Mark. Like he scares me. Like, oh, something, you know, whatever. Well, you know, you're
Instead
scared.
of the uncle, it's Mark Sanchez.
You know, well, yeah, you know, you're scared of clowns, whatever, you know, and you walk down the end of the hallway, and it's a dark hallway, and popping out the end of the door once you get to the end of the hallway is this creepy man, you know, creepy clown, and his clown head. You're like, oh my God, it's a scary clown, and because you hate clowns, you know, because you're 6 and you're a little kid, and it's a creepy nightmare. Like that's the recurring nightmare for me, except it's Mark Sanchez in place of a clown. Like Mark Sanchez is the one that's popping out of the
The
of the
Cowboys
door
got to
at the
see
end
it
of
in
the
that
hallway.
in week 16. They got to see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. How about when Mark Sanchez ran like freaking like 15 yards backwards on the 2-yard line? I'm like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? He's running backwards to the 2-yard line and gets smashed by freaking Fletcher Cox and Connor Barwin and what's his name? Bradham.
Yeah.
They freaking sandwiched them.
See, this is why I'm a fan of Rex Ryan, the football coach, because I now realize, because I have a set of eyes, and I feel like anybody with a set of eyes should realize this, how in the hell anybody in their right mind was able to coach a football team led by Mark Sanchez at quarterback to 2 straight AFC title games. I mean,
that defense
that's a
was,
miracle.
Yo, a minute, though. That defense was sick. And that run game. They had
That defense was sick, but
Dude,
does that
they
not
had-
go to
they had-
Rex Ryan?
Yeah, but no.
He built that defense.
No, listen, I get, and like you said, he's a good defensive coordinator. He's not. I'm not saying he's not, bro. But I'm just saying
There's a lot worse head coaches in football.
He has a great defense. Oh,
a lot worse head coaches.
Without a question.
You know, he
Without a
makes
question.
guys want to play for you. His teams are at least competitive. I guarantee you the Bills will be like the worst team in football again this year. They're going to win like 3 games.
Probably.
Sean
They're
McDermott-
a mess.
Yeah, who's the new?
They're a mess.
They've been a mess for 16 years.
I know.
Yet somehow for back-to-back years under Rex Ryan, they were at least competitive until like
Yo,
the final stages of the year.
But them fans are delusional.
Well, of course they are.
They're delusional.
I told you back when I ran into a couple at Dover.
Yeah, I ran into a couple
know?
at a concert on the freaking the ferry. Going over to freaking
This
Canyon
is September,
Canyon
and
Ferry.
they're talking about, I think
there.
Rex Ryan's all hot air. Let's fire him, and we would love to have a young coordinator. As a matter of fact, we would love Frank Reich. You're coordinator. You're gonna
Take
fire
him.
Rex Ryan and hire Frank
Yeah,
Reich.
listen. You know what? Take him. Bye.
Like, that's my whole point. Like, all right, good luck with that. And
Yeah.
like, if
See,
anything, somebody like me will be a fan of that because then I can sit here and like toot my own horn and be like, see, I said Rex Ryan was a good football coach. They won 8 games one year under him. They were winning like 6 games, 3 games under Frank Reich. They stink.
3.
They're the worst
Not
team in
6.
football again.
I think you're being generous
You know?
when you say 6. 3.
Worst team in football again.
Frank
know?
Reich. Bye. Yeah, take him. You want him because he won you a game?
They just hired Sean McDermott.
Dude, he won him a game.
Is that who they
Yo,
signed?
They hired Sean McDermott's the Bills' new head coach.
Yo, he came back and won a freaking game, and they're still talking about it.
Do we understand? Hold on.
The biggest comeback in
I don't-
NFL history. Seriously, dude.
I don't
Like,
understand.
they won a game.
I don't understand any of this nonsense. Any of this. So they fired Rex Ryan because apparently I don't know what the deal was. Was he not competitive enough? They were in the playoff picture, which is more than you could say about any Bills team in the past decade before he got there, right? They were in the playoff picture. Then you think, okay, they're going to fire him because they hire a Kyle Shanahan or one of those young they want one of these young guys that's
Like an Adam Gase.
the young
Yeah.
hot name that they bring in, and at least it makes sense. You hire Sean McDermott? Might as well just kept Rex Ryan. What the hell was the point of this?
Yeah.
What's Sean McDermott going to do that Rex Ryan wasn't doing for you?
They liked. See, the whole thing about the Eagles is when the Eagles let him go, they said, he kind of.
And why not fire?
He went
why
off
not
with Jimmy
fire him
Johnson.
after last year? To
Yeah,
hire
but
Sean McDermott?
he was Jimmy Johnson's boy, and then we want to let him go, and he had a good defense with Carolina, but he wasn't going to pan out as a head coach. I wouldn't want to bring Sean McDermott in for a head coach. All right,
whatever.
He did a good job with Carolina and building that defense up.
Great.
I don't
I
want
would
him
have been
as a
impressed with
coach.
him as an option after last season because at least he earned it. But really, I think when you look at the players on that defense, especially that second, I mean, Kuechly's just an all-pro.
Oh my God.
So
Faces side to
You know
sideline
what's
to sideline.
you know what's funny? You ever see them things? And I know it's false, but them things are of redo the draft.
Yeah.
You know they had the Eagles getting Luke Kuechly.
well,
Really?
he
Yeah.
would have been a phenomenal signing.
Well,
Phenomenal
they
draft
had
pick. Right.
if they had to redo it, They had the Eagles falling with Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly's just an all-pro, so I don't give McDermott any credit for that. I look at something like that, and I'm like, here's a true sign of a great defensive coach. How do you replace a guy that you just lost that was an impact player for you? They lose Josh Norman. He goes to Washington. The idea behind that was, well, Josh Norman isn't good enough for us to give him that much money. He's not going to make or break our secondary. Guess what? He made or broke your secondary. You needed to throw $75 million, whatever it was, at Josh Norman to keep him in Carolina because apparently Sean McDermott didn't understand how to scheme up a defense with the current defensive backs that were now on your roster to get them to play well enough to stop teams from throwing the football down the field. So I'm starting to think, meanwhile, Norman goes to Washington and has, not the same year he had last year. He was the best defensive back in football last year, best cornerback in football last year, according to the rankings that rank that stuff. But he was still a top 10 cornerback in football this year. So he doesn't have much of a fall off. Yet when you look at Carolina, their secondary falls off a cliff.
Yeah. Where they? Did they go 6-10, 7-9?
Where 6-10.
6-10.
Yeah.
So they went, but it's because of their defense.
7-9. Bottom line,
right? And when you look at their secondary, their secondary fell off a cliff. Everybody threw the ball down the field against them. They couldn't stop teams from throwing the ball down the field against them.
Cam didn't have a good year. He didn't have the best.
When you look at his numbers, he still had a good year.
But fantasy football wise. But I'm talking about as far as him. What did he go? They go 0 for 4.
They went 0 4.
Yeah, but see, but that type of stuff gets blown out of proportion because, 2 years ago, the year before the Super Bowl year, they went 7-9 and won the division and made the playoffs. Cam had a good year that year too.
7-9.
You know what I mean? Just like he did. Cam's never really had a bad year. Now, obviously, last year.
You know who don't like him? Your boy, on that show. What's
Skip Bayless?
No, not Skip.
Colin Coward.
Skip
Coward.
Bayless.
No, Colin Coward. He's not a big fan of him at all.
No, he respects his talent. Colin's just a pussy and doesn't.
But
Colin
when it comes to being one of the best quarterbacks in the league and being an MVP of the league and the whole bit. He wrote stats down saying.
Well, that's because he takes the intangible. He's like, oh, he's not a good leader, and he whines and the pouty, the pouting and this, and he is pouty. He comes across as pouty and he whines and all that. But whatever. It doesn't take away from the fact that the guy's a great talent, but I just think when you look at that team, he is not what is going to make them win. What makes them win? You saw what made them. The reason they went to the Super Bowl and were 15-1 that 1 year was because they had a top defense in football. Yeah. First of all, Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, but they had it all going on, bro. They had the run game. They had the defense.
But why did? But
they had it everything. And Cam was throwing on the money.
Yeah, but the reason Newton and that offense clicked out the cylinders that it did. Like I said, Newton hasn't had a bad year. Their offense has always been good. What had been the difference maker? He was able to have an MVP year because that defense then played at such a level where it was setting up the offense to do what they did.
And Luke went down. He had an injury too.
He did.
Yeah, he got hurt.
He did. But it didn't matter. Their secondary was just dog shit this year. They had nobody. Yeah, they
wound up signing our old our old
trash. And they had a fifth round.
It,
they released a guy. Remember the guy that was starting at the beginning of the year? They released him because he was so terrible.
What was
the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it? I was going to say Sean Constantine, but it wasn't Sean Constantine.
No.
Who was it?
They've got Allen.
No, the dude.
Nate Allen.
Not Nate Allen. No, safety.
Nate Allen.
No. Kirk Coleman.
Don't they have Nate Allen on their roster too?
No, Kirk Coleman. That's who. Thank you, Ralph.
Nate Allen
I said Sean Constantine. It's Kirk Coleman, Sean Constantine.
Coleman actually had a big year.
He did.
But and then he fell off the face of earth again this year. So what's that? That has to do with the Josh Norman effect. Norman's out there on an island. Nobody throws at Norman, so they throw to the other side. And as a result, an average safety like Kirk Coleman has a pretty good year and has 5 interceptions.
Right.
Because he's playing help defense on the other side. And what happens? When nobody throws to one side of the field, you can cheat as a safety to your side of the field, knowing if they're going to throw the ball, there's a good chance it's coming this way, and he ends up having a good year.
Well, he was just catching really fly balls in the backfield.
And he only was playing help defense to one side because they didn't need him to play help defense to Norman's side. The Super Bowl year, Norman was playing man-to-man kind of on an island with most receivers that he was facing, and they didn't have to give him a lot of help over there, so Coleman's just helping on the weak side. So, of course, quarterbacks are going to throw to the weak side.
I think the Redskins got some big decisions they got to make. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, obviously you're going to.
They got to sign Cousins.
You got to sign
They're going to sign Cousins.
All right.
Deshaun just said he wants to be back in Washington.
I don't think he's going to. You want to why? Like even that post, the Redskins post. You see that tweet?
But, I mean,
and he wasn't in the picture, not like that, and he kind of got all bent up. You know what I mean?
Whatever. Yeah,
but
and then he said he wants to be back there because he likes playing that off.
But you got Trent Williams.
That's why I said.
Listen,
that's why I said don't take any stock in whether or not Deshaun says he wants to come to Philly or not. Deshaun wants to go wherever the hell the money's best.
Definitely.
Like
Trent
Williams fans that took too much stock into that.
Free agent. Trent Williams, free agent. Yeah. Right? They going to re-sign him?
Who knows?
Okay. Deshaun Jackson, free agent. Right. Pierre Garçon, he's out the door.
Yeah,
he's gone. All right. You have to sign your quarterback. You're not going to franchise tag him.
They could franchise tag him again. They're talking about franchise tagging him again.
Oh, that's going to go up his ass.
He said he'd play on the franchise tag again. If you could listen, if you're Kirk Cousins, I don't think Kirk Cousins looks at it like that. Like, oh, it's disrespectful. I think the way Kirk Cousins looked at it is from the business side. He says, okay, fine. They look at it and they say, the way these NFL organizations do business is they, oh, well, it's simply business. Okay.
So they're going to have to pay me $22 million a year.
So Kirk Cousins looked at it and says, okay, so I'm going to use the same argument. It's business on my end. I don't mind playing for the franchise tag. Why? Because you're going to pay me $25 million again. Yeah. That's $25 million last year, $25 million this year. You know what? What the hell? Why wouldn't I play on the franchise tag? I'm a really rich man.
That's $50 million.
Why not? Dude, whatever. Go ahead. He's not going to get butthurt about it because he's smart. Because he's one of the guys that looks at the financials.
After Tampa Bay, that's what Revis started doing before he went on the decline. Revis started betting on himself and was like, you know what? I'm going to sign one-year deals with teams for top-rate money. You know what I mean? Top-rate cornerback money. $20-some million per year.
All right. How about let's get into this fantasy conversation. We could use Darrelle Revis as a perfect segue with the 4 felonies, $25 million. I might pay, Darrelle Revis, Josh Norman. I might want to see them in a fist fight.
No, Josh Norman, Odell.
Josh Norman and Odell. That'd be a good one. $25 million.
Yeah.
Josh Norman and Odell Beckham in a fist fight.
Yeah.
A legit boxing match.
Oh my
Who
God.
wins?
Josh Norman.
Oh, come on. Odell gets that ass waxed. Josh Norman whips that ass.
Yeah, Josh Norman wins, yeah.
Come on. Josh Norman, like Josh Norman grew up,
You know what? You know why?
He grew up tough. You know what I mean? Like, he grew up with his grandma, poor area. Josh Norman's going to whip Odell's ass.
The only reason why I 100% agree with you is because I think freaking Odell has some sugar in his tank, bro.
Odell's a pretty boy.
I think he has some sugar in his tank.
He's a fruitcake?
Uh-huh.
Well, we all think that.
Fine. Did you ever see some of the videos?
I want him to be gay.
He is.
This is how bad I want. This is how bad I want Odell Beckham Jr. to be out of the closet as the first gay NFL player, or significant gay NFL player.
It would change everything up
because he's already an absolute superstar.
He's an icon.
Yeah, it's not like it would cost him his position in the end. He's not going to get released or traded because all of a sudden he's gay.
Because everyone would come out and say, "Oh, no problem. Look at this guy."
All it's going to do, if anything, it's going to be good for the game.
Correct.
It'd be great for the game of football.
I agree.
For him to be a gay superstar.
I agree with you.
I'm rooting for it. I want that to be the case at some point.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's too much fun to talk about for that not to be the case. At some point, he's just got to come out and admit it so that we don't feel bad for making assumptions.
The writing on the wall, you see the hot tub with a bunch of guys, dude coming up.
Him doing the stanky leg at the club on some other dude.
But the guy came up with the bubbles
by
in
a bunch
his
of
mouth,
guys,
and he's singing "Sexual Healing" in the hot tub, and
and he's got around a bunch of other shirtless dudes. There was one hot bitch, one bitch. One hot girl. All the way in the back. One hot girl.
I didn't see no girl in the hot tub.
No, there was one. No, not in the hot tub. On the boat.
On the boat.
Oh, I'm talking about the hot tub.
Yeah, I'm talking about the boat. You got a bunch of shirtless dudes.
He's with a bunch of dudes in the hot tub.
And you got a bunch of shirtless dudes on the boat together.
And there's one bitch.
One hot bitch. One hot girl on the back.
And that was the boat when they had the joint in it.
Yeah, and it's a complete sausage fest. It's like, oh, really? Are we serious right now?
Yeah.
You're always knocking off the padding. Get the padding back on your headset.
Did you hear what Victor Cruz said, too?
Before you cough onto my headset.
Victor Cruz.
After the exposed headset.
Victor Cruz says, I regret for going on that boat trip.
Well, that's because Victor Cruz is now a free agent and nobody's going to sign him because he was on that boat. That's why he regrets it. If I'm Odell, I don't regret anything. If I'm Victor Cruz, shit, of course I regret it.
Yep.
I wish I would have, I wish the story would have been how I was at the facilities till 2 o'clock every morning prepping for the playoff game. That's what I would. This is going to cost him. Nobody's going to sign his ass.
I don't think so. I think he's going to be out there by himself forever. With his, he cheated on his wife like 20 times, but ain't on no. Everybody cheats. You know what I mean?
That's why you're supposed to listen. 75% of relationships, one or both parties cheat. That's just the facts nowadays.
75%.
In 75% of relationships, one or both parties cheat.
You want to know what? It's crazy you said that because my grandpa was even saying the other day how his generation, back in the 50s and say they don't do any of that shit, that nonsense. You know what I mean? They're happy.
Right.
They've been together for 6 years and shit. And then he said, you got people there that are going around sleep with this person, sleep with this person, sleep with this person.
Everybody's got a side bitch.
Everybody's
got a side hoe.
If you were born in like the 1950s or shit like that, you're faithful. Like everything's all gravy. But if you're born like
it's all gravy.
If you're born in like the 80s, you know what I mean, the 70s, the 90s, dude, people are just going around and just like, this vagina, I don't like it no more. I need something else. I need something tighter.
I need some better pussy.
I forgot I'm allowed to say the PUSSY freaking word. I said vagina.
The big vagina.
Yeah.
Just grab him by the vagina.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Just grab him by the pussy. Take what you want in life. Bryce Harper is one of the other names on this list of sports figures you would most like to pay to fight, or most like to pay $25 million to fight. How about Bryce Harper against Jonathan Papelbon?
Oh, that would be a good
one. I'd be paid to watch that fight, right?
That'd be a good one.
Those two. Oh, God.
That'd be a good one, dude.
I think Bryce Harper chokes him out. Papelbon seems like that meathead. Like we all know that one meathead that playing sports. There's that one meathead that thinks he can beat anybody up. Whatever, bro. Get at me, bro.
7-year-old Don Zimmer versus Pedro Martinez.
Whatever. Get at me, bro. Get at me. And then they actually fight and he gets choked out in like 20 seconds. Yeah. Like gets a sleeper hold, gets locked on.
Yeah, you remember
You're
that
like, what
fight.
happened?
Yeah, you remember that Pedro
Of course
Martinez.
I remember that.
Bro, here comes Don Zimmer.
That was quality entertainment. That's one of the best moments in baseball history.
That was so great, dude. Do you remember that or no?
Yeah,
You're young. Oh, that was great.
Yeah,
Here comes Don Zimmer.
An 80-year-old guy running down on the field.
One of the
And as
No
Yankee fan, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are like, I can't believe Pedro did that. Like, I can't believe he didn't shove his face into the ground harder. Like,
I can't believe Pedro didn't just step right through him.
I can't believe Pedro didn't
Pedro was
like
being
a right
nice.
cross
Pedro
to the
was
face.
being nice and was like,
yeah, like really,
yeah,
like really, like you're the one. Come on, like you're 75. You decided to charge like the best pitcher in baseball. Like what else
Pedro
did you think
was
was going to happen?
Hey, buddy, get to the
Surprised
side.
Pedro didn't like belly to belly suplex him.
Or Pedro just come up and just step through him, or cunt punt him or some shit,
Cunt punt him. Do you remember? An old Phillies Expos game. Pedro Martinez was with the Expos at this moment, early in his career, and they were playing the Phillies in Philadelphia. And he hit Greg Jeffries. Remember Greg Jeffries? He was an old school Phillies player. He used to play for the Mets before he played for the Phillies. And he hit Greg Jeffries on the elbow with a fastball. And like the next day, Jeffries played for the Phillies at the time, and the Phillies were like a little bit upset about it. So the next inning, Pedro Martinez came to the plate the bat, and the Phillies threw behind him, and he charged the mound and got in a fight with the Phillies pitcher. It was like 25-year-old Pedro Martinez back when he was like winning Cy Youngs with the Expos, and like he charged the mound and got himself ejected because the Phillies tried to beat him after he hit the one Phillies batter. I had never seen it before in my life. I saw the YouTube video like a year ago.
Shit.
So you got what you said?
I said LeBron James.
I know what you said. I'm talking about fantasy matchups. You got Josh Norman against Odell Beckham. You're going to have Bryce Harper against Jonathan Papelbon.
Alex Ovechkin versus Sidney Crosby.
No, see, that's why I didn't put Crosby on this list.
I know.
Because I knew the first person you were going to go to was Crosby.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you had to go to hockey, you would say that.
Kevin Durant.
I would pay $25 million to see Westbrook fight Durant.
Westbrook versus Kevin Durant.
And Westbrook would, like, wax that ass.
You think so?
Oh, my God. He would beat his ass so bad. It'd be like no mercy. Like he'd curb stop him. Westbrook's like the guy that takes it a step too far, and after the fight's over, like he's still stomping somebody's face into the ground.
You're not a big Westbrook guy, are you?
As a player, I mean, he's exciting as a player. I mean, he's a complete jackass.
He's a cancer, bro. He's a cancer in the locker room. He's a cancer in everything else.
The way you win with him, you've got to build a team the way the Sixers built around Allen Iverson back in the day. You've got to take into account he's going to shoot the ball 30 times a game. The ball is always going to be in his hands. What you need to do is find him a really good defensive player, and you need to find him a really good like rebounder, big man inside. What is this?
Was that Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo Ball? Oh, stop it. His dad said Lonzo will be better than Steph Curry.
Yeah. That's what his dad said.
I mean,
well, of course his dad's going to say that.
Nobody's, he's never going to be able to score like Steph can score.
Speaking of Steph, how about that game he had the other night? He couldn't friggin' hit nothing.
Well, but you know what? But this, I think this shows exactly. I think it shows more about what Steph is as a player because we know he's the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. That's what he did over the past 2 years.
Well,
with
you're meaning far as
the greatest shooter, as far as jump shoots, where you're talking about three-pointer, where you're talking about a pull-up too. He is the greatest jump shooter in the history of the game. Look how many 3 balls he hit.
No,
in a season stuff
I get that.
That's what they established with him last year.
He had
he's
400
the greatest
three-pointers.
All the basketball,
Zach,
all the
the
people that have been
reason
around the game forever.
but
He's the greatest shooter of all time.
He is the greatest shooter of all time.
I don't know.
It's just not debatable.
No, I don't know about
He's the greatest shooter.
Who's better than him?
We're not talking
Larry
about
Bird?
scorers. We're not
No,
talking about
no,
all-around
I'm talking
players.
about,
We're talking about greatest shooters.
I'm talking about three-pointers.
He is the greatest jump shooter of all time.
Ray Allen.
He is the greatest jump shooter of all time.
Beat his record.
Miller.
He's
Reggie Miller. I'm just saying.
He's beaten anybody's record that there is to beat. He's the greatest jump shooter of all time.
And the 2 years that he had automatically puts him in the Hall of Fame.
You're not just talking about the 2 years that you're because since he came into the league, he's always been a great jump shooter.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer?
Oh, without question, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. 2-time MVP, NBA champion.
Right, NBA champion, 2-time MVP.
2-time MVP.
400 three-pointers in one season.
He's changed the game, the way the game's played now. This is going to be known as the Steph Curry effect in 20 years. When you watch how open it all is. When you watch how everybody has to be able to shoot now. How it's constantly just everybody's running up and down the floor. He's changed the way some of that's played. The game is, you never see. There was never a team to win a championship
Are they winning
with this
this year?
style of basketball.
Is Golden State winning this year?
Yes,
I think they're the favorite to win it. But my point with Steph, what's more impressive about what he is, the fact that he was a superstar like Kevin Durant was able to come over and play with Steph. And Steph, I don't have to be the top dog. I don't have to be, I don't have to feel like I'm the alpha male. I want to do what's best for the team to win. Kevin Durant leads that team in scoring right now. But there's other nights where Steph will get his. There's other nights also where Steph will give it up and Klay Thompson will have a 60-point game because Steph knows what he has to do on that particular night for the Warriors to be at their best and for the Warriors to win. That's a true superstar. Kevin Durant couldn't have gone and played with Kobe Bryant in L.A. when Kobe was in L.A. Kobe wasn't going to give up shots so that a guy like Kevin Durant could go play with him.
Well, hold on a second. You're going to tell me if back in Kobe Bryant's prime, Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant would have won a championship?
If they would have played, but that would have never happened because Kobe would have never agreed to give up him being the offense for a guy like that to come in and also shoot the ball 20 times a game.
You saw it with Dwight Howard. Nothing happened.
Kobe wouldn't have given up. Kobe would have always had to be the alpha male.
Well, Kobe had to throw it down low on their paint for Shaq. I mean, all them years.
Yeah, no, but that was early in his career when Shaq was the alpha male. Kobe would have never given up being the alpha male for a guy like Kevin Durant to come in there and say, okay, I'll give up being the alpha male.
How about AI? You think AI would get you if we put AI was the alpha male far as 76?
See, I always felt I thought that was
that's what I'm getting at.
But see, I always felt he got that reputation unfairly because nobody ever said he couldn't play with the team around him. When you went and put him with Carmelo Anthony's the biggest alpha male there's ever been in the history of basketball. Carmelo Anthony's the definition of a guy like that. Kevin Durant couldn't go play with Carmelo Anthony. That wouldn't work in New York.
I remember when Denver was bringing AI off the bench.
Yeah, but what happened then?
And AI goes, "How dare you? I'm Allen. Basically, I'm Allen."
Yeah, but that was about him coming off the bench. I would be mad if I was AI coming off the bench too. He's a Hall of Famer.
So they say, "Yeah, you know what, AI? We're gonna ship you."
That's him coming off the bench.
Detroit.
I'd be mad about that too. But as far as them playing together, Allen Iverson actually came in there was the only guy ever able to play with Carmelo. They went to the Western Conference Finals that year.
He still can't. Look at New York.
Allen Iverson was the only guy ever able to play with Carmelo.
It's a disaster in New York right now.
Kevin Durant couldn't have gone and signed with the Knicks. Why? Because Carmelo's not going to give up being an alpha male so that Kevin Durant can also get his. So that Kevin Durant can do what he does best and be a scorer.
Do you think him and Rose are butting heads right now?
I just don't think Rose is enough of a superstar for that to matter at the moment.
I think that injury did.
But I think it's holding Porzingis back. I think if anything, Porzingis should take more of a lead role as a scorer in that offense. But Carmelo Anthony's holding him back.
All right, right now, if you had to do a trade, Porzingis for Joel Embiid, would you do it?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
Okay.
Joel Embiid's the next coming of Hakeem Olajuwon.
You want to hear something crazy? Some dudes actually told me that they would do that in a heartbeat. They said Porzingis is going to be, as far as an overall player, they think that he's going to be better than Embiid.
That's just ridiculous.
I'm
That's
just-
absolutely
a couple
ridiculous.
of people actually told me
You know,
so.
but like that's my point. Is like not all superstars, can take a back seat. Some superstars have an alpha male in them where they have to be an alpha male. It's just in their DNA, and it's the way it works. And, you can bring other good players in with them, but you can't bring another superstar that's on the level of superstar that they are because it'll never work together. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry has proven out in Golden State. He's got no problem. He is what he is. He's a guy that shoots the ball. He can score 30 a game if you need him to score 30 a game. That's why he was the MVP. But he's loved out in that city. He is like the golden boy with that fan base. They love him. Like he can do no wrong out with that fan base.
But I feel that fan base. Did you hear that? Did you ever see that video when a guy went around there and started asking Golden State Warriors,
That's fine.
questions?
It's
Did you ever see
irrelevant,
that?
though.
And they had
That's fine, but it's
all
irrelevant.
they knew Steph Curry. They started asking like other players on the team.
That's
they had
fine.
no idea. They know Steph.
It's irrelevant,
they know
though. I mean,
Klay
at least they
Thompson,
packed
know
that
Steph-
arena. At least you watch a basketball game. They pack that. You go to half the arenas in basketball, and it's half full.
But I feel like no offense or anything, but I feel that that's kind of like the Seattle fans. They're a bunch.
Well, that's fine. They could
they're
be
just a bunch of fake front
Okay, that's
runners
fine.
I
Who
ever
gives
saw
a
in my
fuck, though?
life.
That's irrelevant in this kind. It doesn't mean that he can't. The conversation is Steph Curry is the golden boy. Whether they're front runners or not, doesn't matter. He's the golden boy to that fan base.
Everybody
They
knows
can be
his
front
name.
runners. Doesn't fucking matter if they're front runners. We're not having that conversation. We're not comparing them to Sixers fans or the Philadelphia fans. Bottom line is he can't do any wrong out there. He's the golden boy. They love him.
He's their Derek Jeter. I get it,
and he's proven he can be an MVP. But at the same time, he's now proven he can play with any like. That's the type of superstar you want on your team because you can now put other superstars with him and you'll be able to gel. He's proven he can. Hey, I don't have to be the alpha male. If we got to come in and what I got to do on a particular day is only shoot the ball 10 times and all 10 of them are going to be 3 balls because Kevin Durant is red hot and he's having a 40-point night or Klay Thompson's red hot and he's having a 60-point night, he can do that. That's the type of guy you want. I've had music in my ear for way too long, so I got to take it to commercial break. This is the Rundown, a2dradio.com. We'll continue with more of the same when we come back. We've had fun with this fantasy conversation. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, I like that fantasy fight. We'll come up with a couple more. Maybe Charles Oakley and James Dolan. Got to go there, right?
Yeah,
$25 million for that. We'll, oh, man. We'll get into that on the other side of the break. This is the Rundown, a2dradio.com. We're brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, 856-889-3434. Go to the website, scanzanosports.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, a2dradio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
The Rundown. Only on A2DRadio.com.
This is the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. Charles Oakley, James Dolan. I feel like that's worth more than $25 million.
Yeah, it's about like $50 million. Maybe even $100 million.
That's that $100 million pay-per-view fight. That's the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight.
Whoever loses,
James Dolan, Charles
whoever
Oakley.
loses is banned from MSG. There you go.
We're gonna ban the owner of the owner of MSG will be banned from MSG.
Yep.
I love it. This is my building. I don't give a rat's ass.
How about Bill Clinton versus Donald Trump? Would you pay for it?
No.
Just see them two guys square off?
No, I
Two
wouldn't.
old men?
No.
Too old, man.
No.
I have no interest. None at all.
Andre Johnson versus Cortland Finnegan.
But we already saw that for free,
Nah,
so.
but dude, that wasn't a fight.
Dude, freaking Andre Johnson was freaking
Waxed
waxed
him.
him. Was throwing him around.
Waxed him.
Cortland Finnegan. Is he still in the league? No,
No.
He was, but
He was on somebody's like practice squad this year. Like,
he was
he
good
was
when
on
he
somebody's
played for the
preseason
Titans.
squad this
when he
year.
played for Tennessee, he was good. When he played for the Titans.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, when he played for the Titans.
And then he just became a guy in this league. And then-
Well, that's what happens. They're out for 5 at a time. That's what happens. You got a window. To the windows, to the wall.
Brock Osweiler against Ryan Tannehill, the two prettiest quarterbacks in football.
That'd be a good one.
Tannehill. Freaking Brock Osweiler.
Have you seen Tannehill's wife?
No.
Oh my dear Lord!
Really?
They met. He was at Texas A&M. They met at spring break in like Cabo.
Oh wow.
Cabo's a freak.
Like she's just this like hot big boob blonde, smoking hot.
Tannehill. He was like, "Hey, I'm a quarterback in the NFL. You want?"
Well, he was playing at Texas A&M at the time, but he's like, "Hey, I'm going to play in the NFL one day."
And she's like,
"Here's my dick, suck on it."
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I imagine that's how Jaromir Jagr gets women at this point of his career.
Yeah.
He just walks in the bars.
I got this.
Walks in the clubs down in Miami Beach, and he's just like, "Listen, girl, I'm an all-time great hockey player. Like I'm the second greatest hockey player to ever live. I still play in the NHL. I'm 45. Here's my penis. Do something with it." Like,
Yeah, but how about this? I got this Albanian.
and she's like, "Oh my God!"
We got this Albanian that works for Elliot Lewis that comes in 5 o'clock in the morning, and he teaches me like how to.
Elliot
speak
Lewis.
German.
It sounds like a reporter.
Ready?
It sounds like somebody that should be reporting
Ready
on like
for
the
this?
Eagles.
Like
Ready?
Elliot Short Park.
Ready for this one? He goes, "Ich habe einen großen Wanz." It means I have a big dick.
Oh my
Ich habe einen großen Wanz. That's what the fucking guy says. Ich will dein Poof. I love your pussy. It's good. Ich will dein Poof.
Interesting. Well then.
German. Ich will
Well
dein
then.
Poof.
Okay then. Interesting.
Christ.
Yeah, we got some German, some shit. The guy comes in, he just starts talking shit at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's freaking coming in at 5, talking all this nonsense. So I learned it. I picked up. When you got every day, someone just keeps saying the same old stupid shit every day, kind of sinks in.
Kind of locks in.
You know? Yeah, he says all kind of stupid shit.
Roger Goodell and Tom Brady, I think, goes without saying.
Yeah.
You pay a ton of money to see them fight, right?
Who would LeBron fight though?
Who's LeBron going to fight?
Yeah, like
Pay to see him fight Kobe? Pay to see him fight Michael?
I'll tell you what, Embiid was like motherfucker, you didn't come play for the Sixers. I want to fight you. Remember that when he was trying to recruit him?
Yeah.
The Embiid versus LeBron. I don't know.
No, that's but you got to have something better than that.
I know.
What was it, Ron Artest and Ben Wallace?
Oh my god,
that would be a good one.
Dude, remember that freaking? I'll never forget that fight with the fans.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Ron Artest goes
That was
right
in
in
Detroit,
the,
wasn't it? Or was that in
Yo, can you imagine?
was in
All right, let me
Detroit.
ask you a question. Say happens if Ron Artest came up with you, would you freaking go after him? If he's coming his
Ron
name,
Artest? You know who I'd really like to see Ron Artest fight? I need Ron Artest and Dennis Rodman. $25 million to see those two fight each other.
That'd be a good
Or
one.
Charles Oakley and Rodman, like those two. Like,
in
oh
their
my god.
right now or in their primes?
Whenever. I mean, I'd pay to see him fight right now too. But I mean, like in their prime, it's even more worth your money.
Yeah, I can just imagine Ron Artest coming up to stands to come after you. Would you be like this mother? I'm gonna knock it. Would you just? What would you do?
I'm gonna pick up a chair and go ECW on him. Like,
yeah, right. Seriously,
smack
that's what
him with
I'm
the
thinking.
chair.
I'm like, this guy's coming after me. I'm right. Give me that metal chair real quick. I want to
I thought
smash
showed
this
him
guy.
and then tackle him.
Okay. Yo, how about it's like all right what's it? I'm gonna brain fart right now. Ty Domi. Remember the fan?
Yeah, he climbed over the penalty box.
It freaking fell through the penalty box. Ty Domi started
That was like
limping.
the greatest hockey moment ever.
Yeah,
like,
Ty Domi started lumping
that fan
his ass.
deserved to fall. Like that fan deserved to get his ass
Dude, he's
kicked
from
by
Drexel
Ty
Hill,
Domi.
that dude.
Really?
Yeah, that fan was telling a story about it, what happened.
He deserved to fall in and get his ass kicked by
Dude,
Ty Domi.
he got a big payday, too, for getting his ass whipped.
I have no, like, I would have, if I'm the court of law, I would have never awarded him money.
Because the glass broke.
You over here, I don't give a fuck.
It was like, get over here.
Don't lean against the glass. The glass broke because he was leaning against the glass.
And it was
Don't lean against the glass. And then he was squirting mustard or whatever it was at Domi. Like he's eating a pretzel in the front row, squirting mustard at him. So Domi squirted the water bottle like back over like the glass because he's Ty Domi. And then the guy started beating the glass at him, and Domi got up like talking shit. So they're talking shit back and forth. And the guy got up and beat on the glass and fell through the glass. And then Domi grabbed him and just started wailing on him.
He got money for that?
Yeah,
dude. I wouldn't have awarded money to the guy.
He got a great payday.
How much was?
Dude, he sued the state. He sued the Flyers because of the glass.
He didn't deserve money
Dude,
for that.
He sued a lot of shit. Yeah, Domi had to give him money.
He doesn't deserve any money for that
at
all.
He sued a lot of. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go to.
Yo, that's like. Yo,
Flyers
listen. That's like what we were trying to talk about. $25 million to get your ass whipped. That dude, and there's nothing happened to him. He was okay.
Yeah.
So he got a shitload of money, and he got lumped up for what? A subtotal of 2 minutes. He took a 2-minute beat down by Ty Domi, and freaking got a big time settlement, man. And he got his ass whipped. We can bring that up right now.
He got his ass kicked.
Maddie, you remember that, right? Maddie?
Maddie's in La La Land.
Earth to Maddie.
Earth to Matthew.
Earth to Maddie. Yeah. Oh, he had his. Okay. You remember Ty Domi? When the Drexel Hill guy fell in there, he got a big time settlement. Oh, you had the wrong. I'm sorry, you had the wrong headset on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, well, the guy. I mean, I was just telling Ralph and telling Zach that the guy got a big time. He wound up suing the Flyers. He sued the. I guess the glass support. He sued Ty Domi. He sued the NHL. He got a big time settlement for just falling in and getting his ass whipped for a subtotal of 2 minutes.
You know who I would pay $25 million to see fight? I'd want to see Sam Hinkie against Brian Colangelo.
Oh, yeah.
That's the matchup I want to see at the moment.
Sam Hinkie, I think.
Sam Hinkie.
Sam Hinkie would give him a Stone Cold Stunner.
If Sam Hinkie starts losing that fight, I'm running into the ring like old school WWF style, like to interfere, and I'm like, hitting Colangelo with a steel chair. Like I've got to interfere on Hinkie's behalf. No way Colangelo's allowed to win that fight.
It's funny because they have them video games, the WWE games,
yeah,
and they actually had like some
I've seen it,
superstars come down.
Yeah.
They had they had MB came down
MB,
at one
they
time.
had Hickey.
The Triple H, he came down with the Triple H song and stuff. Yeah, they had them all the time.
They had Hinkie. Yeah, it was. But I'm rather frustrated with this Sixers organization.
Yeah,
this
how do you
Sixers
feel about that?
organization.
'Cause your organization's going downhill.
This is about to see. This Sixers organization is about to do to me what the Flyers organization did to me and drive me away from watching Sixers basketball. Like the reason I don't watch Flyers hockey
They're
anymore.
They're going to be good in 3 years.
I'm aware of that.
They're going to be really.
I'm
good
aware
in 3
of
years.
that.
I'm telling you, dude, they're winning with nobody.
So are the Flyers. It doesn't mean
that I'm
going to watch the Flyers.
That's what I'm saying to you, Zach. They're getting They're going to probably get 2 top 10 draft picks this year.
Listen, you don't got to explain
in
nothing
a loaded
to me.
draft.
You don't
They're
got to
gonna be
explain
fine.
nothing to me.
They're going to be
What
fine.
you're not understanding is
He's scared. He's scared.
Well, he should be scared.
He's scared.
He should be scared.
Why should I be scared?
Because your Lakers
Because they're
stink.
going. Yo, I'm telling you, the Sixers in the next 3 years. Oh boy.
You don't got to explain anything to me. But what I've got to explain to you is my reasoning, besides just being annoyed by Flyers fans most of the time, is I was never a fan of the way the Flyers organization was run under guys like Bobby Clark and guys like that. The idea of let's never try to bring in young talent that can skate, that can score, that is, got skill. Like Hextall's finally trying to bring in those types of young players. Those types of guys with that type of skill set. They can skate. They can score. They're not grinders that can beat you up and are really physical and going to hit a ton. But you're gonna get out.
They try to pay for big time free agencies to bring them in here, bro. That's what they try to do.
Well, I don't care about free agents. I'm just talking about the business model. How you build your business model. The Flyers were stuck in the 70s with the Broad Street Bullies forever, even talking about 2008. They're building a team as if, we need them to be physical and tough and beat you up because that's a Philadelphia Flyers hockey team. That's a hockey team in the city.
To be honest, that's all Ed Snyder too.
That was part of Ed Snyder's mentality, but that was really that was really bad when Bobby Clark was the GM. And I stopped being a fan of the Flyers because I hated that mentality. This is no longer the 1970s. You can't build a hockey team with the attitude of we're going to be big and physical and tough and beat you up, and that's how we're going to win hockey games. That's not what win hockey games in today's NHL. You got to be able to skate. You got to be able to have skill.
I agree with you on that.
And Hextall finally changed that a little bit, but by that point it was too late for me.
But it's the draft.
By that point it was too late for me, and it had just kind of all taken its toll on me. Where I was like, I'm not a fan of the business model.
But the Flyers,
I can't watch
the Flyers
this.
had young players with Carter and Richards and shit like that, and they played for the Phantoms. They won a Calder Cup. They won a championship. They won in every level.
But Richards was a grinder. Richards wasn't a goal scorer. Richards wasn't a skill guy.
You're missing it. What I'm
Carter
saying,
was.
Listen, after the Stanley Cup, they axed him. And then they go to Los Angeles and they win freaking 2 Stanley Cup rings.
Yeah, but even that Stanley Cup team, you talk about it was a why did you love that team so much? Because it was a magical run. That wasn't a Stanley Cup caliber team. Talent-wise, it was a magical run.
The thing about hockey,
I don't like that business model.
Listen, the thing about hockey versus basketball.
You could tell me it's like that. That's bullshit.
There's no 7 seed in basketball that's ever going to be number 2. Do you agree with that?
Sean,
there's no 7 seed ever going to be number 2. In hockey, all you got to do is get in, and anything can happen.
No, that's bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit.
Maddie, please defend
the Los Angeles
me
Kings
here.
were a 7
That's
seed
fine.
and an 8 seed both times. They won the Stanley
Sean,
Cup.
you're missing the point.
They
Maddie,
were 7th and 8th. Am I right or am I wrong?
Sean, you're missing the point.
How?
Maddie will tell you where I come from here. Just because you can make a run if you get hot as an 8 seed doesn't mean your business model should be let's just build this team to be good enough to be a fucking 8 seed. The business model is build a team to be the best team in fucking hockey. Because that's the point of sports.
2 Stanley Cup rings.
That's fine,
listen, I'm going to give you a little
Sean.
history. Do you know the Los Angeles Kings?
I don't need your fucking history lesson, Sean.
Listen, against the Sharks.
Sean, shut up because we're about to run out of time.
They were 3 games down
Sean,
against the Sharks.
stop because we can't afford to talk about this. It's irrelevant.
Okay.
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
Sean, why would you be okay with that? Why would you want to be that rather than the team with the most talent in hockey?
I didn't say why
Maddie,
you want to
put
be
the
that.
headset back on.
I didn't say why you want to be
because
like that. But it can
that's my
it can't
point,
happen
Sean.
in basketball. A number 1 and
It
number 2
doesn't matter what
seed's never
sport.
going to lose to
Sean, it doesn't matter what sport we're playing. The business model should be whether it's football, basketball, hockey,
and there's
soccer.
a cap.
Doesn't matter what the sport
There's
is.
a cap
There's a cap in every sport now. There's a cap in every sport.
And I'm telling you, the Flyers, what they're trying to do, they're trying to build through the draft. That's what they're trying to do.
That's fine. I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this regime. We're in agreement that Hextall is trying to turn the corner.
He's trying to.
I'm talking about past regimes. Past regimes took the attitude of, I don't need to bring in enough skill, the past regimes never built the Flyers to ever have a chance to be the best team in hockey. Why? Because that was the business model. Because they took the stupid attitude that you take that if long as we're the 8 seed, the 7 or the 8 seed, and we're there, we could get hot and make a run. Well, that just because you can get hot and make a run.
It's been happening.
But that doesn't.
But it's been happening.
Just because it fucking happens doesn't mean that should be your business model. Why would you want to be that rather than be the? Why would you want to be that rather than the Capitals that have the best roster?
It happened 3 times in the last 6 years.
Sean,
It happened three
Maddie,
times in the
save
last
me
6
here.
years.
Okay,
Am I
shut
right or
up
am I
and
wrong?
mute his mic for a moment, so we can make a point here.
Okay.
Mute his mic for a moment, okay, and then I'll let you respond if you want to make sense to this point. Maddie, me and you are having a conversation now, okay? You understand my point. We've had this conversation a million fucking times. It doesn't matter whether because in hockey you can get hot as an 8 seed and make a run to the Stanley Cup. That the objective in sports, regardless of what sport we're talking about, is your mic is muted, Sean. I wasn't joking about that. The point of any sport is to build the best team you can possibly build, is it not? You're supposed to build the best team in hockey. Why? Because that's the objective of sports. You want to have the best team you can possibly have, correct?
Obviously.
So, would you rather have the Capitals and their roster, or the Sharks and their roster, where they have one of the top rosters in hockey every single year? Forget about the fact that they don't win, because that's hypothetical. You want to forget about that's hypothetical. You would want to have, if you take your chances, where if you have the best roster in hockey, the chances are you're going to win the Stanley Cup at some point.
Well, obviously you want.
Sean, you're going to get a chance to respond. I promise you that. Okay?
Obviously,
you're just not talking at the moment.
Obviously, you want to be one of the best teams in hockey. I mean, clearly, that's always the ultimate goal. At the end of the day, is to have one of the best teams to go and try and win the Stanley Cup.
You want to have the most talent you can possibly have. Correct?
Well, yes. You try to get as much talent as possible.
Would you rather have the Penguins roster or the Flyers roster?
Right now, I'd rather have.
Right, if we're comparing teams, would you rather have the Sharks roster or the Flyers roster at the moment?
Well, it would be the Sharks roster right now. You
know, so that's my point. Like, just because the Sharks haven't won a Stanley Cup doesn't mean I'm going to take the 8th seed over being the best team in hockey. I want to be the best team. I want to have the best roster, because that's sports. The better roster that you have, the more talent that you have, the better chance you have to win.
I mean, the simple fact is that, you know, you want to give yourself the best chance of winning the Stanley Cup as possible, obviously.
Correct.
But, I mean, I hear what Sean is saying about the underdog
You're not
teams.
wrong, Sean.
I hear what you're saying about that.
You're not wrong, Sean.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, though, about how
Sean, you're not wrong. We're both... Look, this is what he's not understanding. We're both agreeing with his... Sean, hold on. We're gonna let you defend yourself here in 1 minute. This is what you're not understanding. Me and him are both saying you're right. You can get hot as an 8 seed and go win a Stanley Cup, but why? That shouldn't be the business model. The objective, Sean. Do you want to have the best team in hockey? Do you want to have the best roster? Would you want to have the most talented roster in hockey? Go ahead, answer the question.
The mic's on.
Do you want to have? Would you want to have the best roster in hockey?
Zach, but what I'm saying to you is the Capitals they won the President's Trophy last year.
Answer my question.
In the second round.
Answer my question.
3 years before that, they won the President's Trophy. See you later.
Answer my question before I mute your mic again. Just answer.
Hold on. But I'm just saying, I don't want to win the President's Trophy and exit in the second round, Zach. I don't want that to happen.
Nobody's saying that's going to happen.
I don't want that to happen.
You don't have
it's
to
been
win
happening.
the President's Trophy.
How many teams?
Hold on.
Maddie, how many teams the last 10 years? I'm going to look it up right now.
No.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Sean, this is
you don't have to win the President's Trophy to be one of the best teams in hockey, though.
But hold on, and your point is irrelevant. He said, no, hold on. Hold on. Your point is irrelevant at the moment. Hold on. You're right. You can make a run as an 8 seed. What you're trying to say, Maddie, tell me if this is not crazy in your mind. What he's trying to say, that because the Sharks, who have had the best record in hockey, 3 or 4 different times, but have never won a Stanley Cup, and the Capitals, who have had the best record in hockey a couple different times, but have never won the Stanley Cup, because those two teams in those situations didn't win the Stanley Cup while having the best record in hockey, he would rather not have the best record in hockey and be an 8 seed than have the best record in hockey and take a chance, because he's automatically assuming that if you have the best record in hockey, based on the past history, that means you won't win the Stanley Cup. That's the most ridiculous logic I've ever heard. The more talent you have, the better chance you have to win.
Well, here's the weirdest thing, though, and this is true not just in hockey, but in all sports. A lot of times, the number 1 overall seed, 9 times out of 10, finds himself eliminated. It's strange, but it happens a lot of times. Football, basketball, baseball. And hockey, hockey the same thing. There's been the number 1 overall seed.
Sean, whether or not
made it to the Stanley Cup
Sean,
Finals.
Sean, explain. Hold on. Explain to me why what a 1 seed did in the playoffs is relevant. That does not dictate anything that's going to happen going forward. If the Flyers had the best record in hockey this year, you can't look at what the Capitals and what happened to them in last year's playoffs, or look at what happened to the Sharks for all those years when they were the 1 seed. You can't look at that and immediately say, well, because of that, we're not going to win the Stanley Cup. We're the 1 seed. If you're the 1 seed, that means you have a better chance. If you have the most talent, if you have more talent than the other team, the more talent you have, the better chance you have to win. That's just sports.
Exactly.
If you have the most talent, the Penguins weren't the 1 seed last year, but the Penguins had more talent than any other team left in the fucking playoffs when everything was said and done. Did they not?
Exactly.
Phil Kessel was playing on the third line. Was he not?
Zach, listen. In the playoffs in hockey, okay, defense gets better in hockey. Okay, it's harder to score in the playoffs than it is in regular season. For an example, Alex Ovechkin will get you 50 goals in regular season. In the playoffs, Alex Ovechkin might only score 4 goals. Okay, it gets harder. Everyone plays. They're playing for the Stanley Cup. It's a new season. It's what I'm trying to
You don't have to whisper, bro.
In basketball, it's completely different. A number 1 seed, okay? LeBron James is not going to lose to the 76ers at number 8. If they Sixers, I'm just
that happens all the time.
Sixers are not going to be the number 8 seed, but I'm just saying.
No, but it happens all the time where in any sport a 6 seed upsets a 1 seed or an 8 seed upsets a 1 seed.
Exactly.
It's happened in basketball. It happens in football every year.
When's the last time it happened in the NBA? A number 1 seed.
The 8 seed beat the Mavericks the 1 year. That was like, I don't know, 7 years ago or whatever.
It happens all the time in hockey.
Sean,
it happens more frequently in the NHL than it does in
So Sean, so answer this question. We just both said you're right. Nobody said it was impossible. Nobody said that you can't get hot and make a run as an 8 seed or a 7 seed in hockey. That's fine. Those teams win it more in hockey than any other sport. But if you're honestly going to tell me that the business model shouldn't be to try to get the most talent you can possibly get assembled on one team, then you're fucking retarded.
Everybody wants to have the best roster.
Okay, so what the fuck are you even arguing with me then? But this is what you're trying to argue with me.
You gotta be realistic. You're going to have the Washington Capitals and I love Alex Ovechkin, but they're in the second round of the freaking
Sean, just because that happens
and they're gone.
Sean, and then they could win the Stanley Cup this year, and that'll be irrelevant.
They haven't. They never won a Stanley Cup.
But they could win it this year, and then that'll be irrelevant.
Never won a ring.
But then they could win it this year. But they could win it this year, and then that'll be irrelevant.
But they could have. They've been saying that, Zach. They keep on winning a President's Trophy. They won what 2 times in the last 6 years.
Okay,
they keep on winning.
Okay, Sean.
And this is my even get to the
and this is my problem with Flyers fans.
Let alone win the fucking thing. They can't even get there.
And this is my problem with Flyers fans and the way you think. So then let's never be the best team in the Eastern Conference. Let's constantly be 8 seeds because by your logic, if you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed or a 3 seed, you're never going to win the Stanley Cup.
Zach, the last time the Capitals sniffed the Stanley Cup was in '98. 1998 was the last time they even went to the Cup
you're
final.
Trying to hold on.
98.
But Sean,
we were little kids. How old were you guys? I don't know.
Sean, you're trying to tell me.
You were 2.
Hold on,
Ralph,
Sean.
exactly.
You're trying to tell me. But no, you're trying to tell me.
You were 4.
Hold on. You're trying to tell me. You just said, well, nobody's going to argue that the point of sports is to not try to get the most talent you could possibly get assembled on one team. Yet you just tried to argue with me that that's not the best way to win in hockey.
Zach, through the draft in every sport, you got to draft good talent. But there's a cap.
You know how you win in any sport, Sean?
Zach,
you have more talent than the other fucking team.
Zach, do you know what the cap in the NHL is? It's probably the lowest in any sport.
Why does that fucking matter?
What I'm saying
doesn't fucking matter.
Zach, it's difficult of getting the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now,
no excuse, Sean.
Let me ask you. We've been through this down this road. Pittsburgh Penguins had
the Pittsburgh Penguins have the best player known to man, yet they've still built the best roster in hockey.
The Pittsburgh Penguins had 5 number 1 and number 2 overall draft picks, okay? Because they blew for years. Crosby, they blew for years, got the number 1 pick.
Great, and the bottom line is they still have more talent than anybody else.
Malkin, number 2.
Doesn't matter how they got the talent.
They blew. Yeah.
They still have more talent than anybody else.
It's like the Sixers. They're what they're doing. Trust the process. They blew for years. The Sixers just blew. So when you suck, of course you're going to get the number 1, number 2 overall draft pick. You're building through the process. That's how this process works in the National Hockey League. In the NBA, you're seeing it. That's how the process works. Unless you're the Cleveland Browns, the process doesn't work.
So then why are we sitting here?
I'm just saying,
so then why? Okay, so if that's the case, Sean, then why, as Flyers fans, do we continue to sit here? It's an endless cycle. It's been the same thing over and over and over again. They have not once made a fucking effort until Hextall got in the fucking building. They never once made an effort to try to actually.
They're not a Stanley Cup caliber team. I've been saying it. For them to be an 8 seed and 7 seed, okay.
No, but-
that's all they're going to be right now, bro.
But what you're arguing,
that's all
no,
they're
but
going
what
to
you're
be.
arguing about, my point is, you are the fans like you. The mindset that you have is the exact reason why I
They're
stopped.
not going to win a Stanley Cup
No,
anytime
that's fine.
soon. I've been saying that.
But the attitude of, dude, it's not like this is a new conversation with the Flyers. This has been the conversation for 15 years now, where the Flyers sneak in as a 6, 7, or 8 seed, and then we get lucky, and we've had a couple years where they've made deep runs.
Not 15 years, but for over the last
you go back to 2005. That's close enough. That's 12 years.
That's 12.
That's the better part of 15 years.
Before 2007, when they were the worst record, before 2007, do you know they made 17 straight consecutive years in the playoffs?
Yeah, but how many times were they a 1 or a 2 seed?
That's a stat.
How many times were they? How many times were they a 7 or 8?
They were a 1 and 2 seed.
But,
I would say
you'd
at
be
least
a number 1, 2 seed and be axed out of the playoffs. I mean, that's.
Yeah, but I'd still rather be a 1 or 2 seed than a 7 or 8 because that's the point. That's the name of the game. I'd still rather be a 1 or 2 seed. Because if I'm a 1 or a 2 seed, that means I have such a good hockey team. I have such talent that I should trust the fact that I got enough talent. I'm a good enough hockey team. We should win a Stanley Cup. If you don't, it's not because you were a 1 or 2 seed, and the way hockey works is those teams never win. It's just because you ended up choking. You didn't perform well enough. You should still always want to be a 1 seed rather than an 8 seed, no matter what sport you're playing. If you'd rather be an 8 seed over a 1 seed, Sean, that's just delusional fucking thinking. No matter what sport you're playing, you should want to be a 1 because it means you're better than if you were an 8. A 1 seed is better than an 8 seed. Therefore, you should want to be a 1 seed. And if you don't, that thinking bothers me. That's why I could never be a Flyers fan.
Listen.
That thinking is delusional.
2009 San Jose Sharks, right? President's Trophy.
Great. We got listen. We got to move on. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to be too late getting off the air. Those are irrelevant. Me and Maddie have both.
They're not irrelevant.
Okay, mute him. Me and Maddie have both pointed out to you multiple times how that's irrelevant. Okay, if you wanna, Sean, it doesn't matter how many times they've been eliminated. That doesn't just like it happened to the Sharks and the Capitals. Just because if the Flyers are a 1 seed, it doesn't mean that's going to happen.
In the last 8 years, there's only been one Stanley Cup winner, and that was the Penguins.
So if the Flyers are
in the last 8 years, there's only been one President's Trophy winner had the best record in the NHL in the last 8 years. One Stanley Cup.
So if the Flyers,
one out of 8 years, that's pretty good.
So if the Flyers are a 1 seed, Sean, hold on. So if the Flyers are a 1 seed, it means they don't have a chance to win a Stanley Cup if they're a 1 seed.
They're not going to be a 1 seed.
If they're 1 seed in 5 years, they don't have a chance to win. That's fucking retarded. That's delusional thinking.
If you're in the playoffs, okay, if you're
just mute him. We got to move on. This is the Rundown. A2DRadio.com. We thank you for tuning in. Most passionate part of the show was probably there, the final 10 minutes or so. We've been brought to you by BMW of Atlantic City and Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, 856-889-3434. For Zach Burr, Ralph Delavecchio, Sean Watson, and Metal Matt Sinsuti. Take care, everybody.